You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. If I tell you I'm no good, you know one line.
Yo, 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 yo. What it do, what it do, what it do. Great grand morning to y'all wonderful people out there, man. Let's go. We have a nice little show planned for today. So we about to get right to it shortly. Let me fix some of these things here. Okay. Let's get right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brethren and sisters, prince and princesses, amigos, mi amigas, ladies and lads, kings and queens, and everything in between. Y'all know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. Let's get it, man. We got the WBC Grand Prix going on right now, so we got some good fights. You know, not really anybody notable per se with a high profile, but we have some good fights going on right now. So, you know, that's all I could ask for, some good fights, you know. So if you like boxing, the WBC Grand Prix is on right now on YouTube. So go check it out, man, you know. Go check it out, man. We just saw a Filipino fighter in a Kazakhstan and a fighter from Kazakhstan fight. So pretty good little matchup right there, 6-rounder. So let's get it, bro. Hit this roll call real quick. We got my brother Patrick in the building. Patrick Bamundele in the building, man. Bamundele. Let's go, man. Patrick Bamundele. Shout out to my guy, man. Appreciate you coming through. Before we get started, though, as always, man, let's go ahead and say our prayers. You know, we always got to start off our stream with the prayers and thank the Most High. So please join me and bow your heads if you indulge. If not, chill out. We'll be done shortly. Have a Coke and a smile. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for your blessings. We thank you for your guidance. And we give you all the glory, Lord. We thank you for leading us into another day. And we ask you for salvation. We ask you for forgiveness. We ask you for patience. And let us also move forward in our own life with patience for ourselves and others. We ask you to forgive us for our sins and our transgressions, and also keep us on the right path. And let us also realize that if we are granted another day, we are blessed to see another day. That means our story is not over. So let us keep going. Let us keep growing. And whenever we feel lost or in the dark, to just look up and look towards you and lean on you, and not our own understanding, because sometimes our own understanding will have us lost and our minds will play tricks on us, but you will never play tricks on us. So we have to strengthen our faith and strengthen our courage, Lord. So we ask you for health, mentally. We ask you for mental health, financial health, emotional health, physical health, and spiritual health. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen, amen. Let's get it, man. We got Oscar Perez, big member in the building. The Grand Prix is lit. Yes, it is, indeedy. Yes, sir, indeedy, it's lit. Yes, it is. Absolutely, man. But yeah, man, before we get started, we're speaking of boxing and good boxing and lit boxing, you know what I'm saying? Exciting boxing. That Brian Norman and Jin Sasaki was exciting, man. Shout out to, you know, happy June 19th, Juneteenth. One time for freedom, one time for love, one time for kindness, one time for equality, man. You know what I'm saying? It's an American holiday that was observed, and Brian Norman held it down. You know what I'm saying? He went to Japan and took on the Japanese contender Jin Sasaki to defend his WBO belt. You know, the American defended his, that was a second successful defense, and he put Jin Sasaki to sleep, bro. And I just want to be very clear, man. Brian Norman's a young champion, man. He's what, 24 years old, from Atlanta, from the South. You feel me? Jin Sasaki is a young contender. He's 23 years old, man. And if you saw the knockout, it was devastating. It was brutal. The man hit his head first on the canvas. Amen. Amen, Patrick. Hit his head first on the canvas, man. And he had to get taken out on a stretcher. And so the reason why I say that is because Brian Norman was caught up in controversy as far as fighting Jerome Boots Ennis, and it was over money, right? The first time. The second time, now people are saying that Boots is ducking Brian Norman. I don't care what side you pick, but I do think that this is another testament to the fact that these fighters go through a lot, man. All of us go through a lot in life. You know, that's what life is about. You know, we go through stuff, we struggle, and we overcome. You know what I'm saying? Give glory to God. But my point is that whenever you're doing a job, I don't care what you're doing, you want to get paid the most, right? You definitely want to get compensated to what you deserve. I know I do. You know what I'm saying? I work hard for myself, and I'm not getting the compensation that I want and I desire, but I'm working towards that. That's my ambition, right? So when you get in a position and you are a champion, then you do deserve to get every penny, because Jin Sasaki is 23 years old. He's still in the hospital right now. The man suffered a concussion, essentially, and he lost his memory. A month and a half worth, or 6 weeks worth, however you want to cut it. You know what I'm saying? It's synonymous. So he lost his memory. He's 23 years old. Was that worth memory loss? You know what I'm saying? So I know that this is some of the risk that you take on when you go through this profession, you know, but you know, I'm a PhD. I have my PhD in engineering, right? I used to work in the lab, right? A lot of my work was done in the lab. I was literally a research scientist is what I do. I remember at the National High Magnetic Field Laboratory in Florida, you know, we worked with a lot of cryogenics, and there was a guy who was a scientist as well, engineer. He had his master's. He didn't have his PhD, but he had his master's. He was working late night in the lab, and he fell in the cryogenic tank, and he died. So do we just say, oh, it's a risk that comes with it? Do we say, oh, he shouldn't have got the money that he deserves? Well, that's why some people get paid what they get paid, because there is risk associated with everything you do. You know what I'm saying? So you want to get as much money as you can, you know, get compensated for what you deserve, you know, so there's risk with anything. And if something happens, we don't just be like, oh, well, he got paid enough money, so that's a risk you take. No, bro, you got to have some compassion, have some humanity. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Jin Sasaki. We wish him a full recovery, but that should go as a reminder to let us know that, you know, I'm not saying that you can't outprice yourself. Duh, we have common sense. I'm not saying that it's impossible to outprice yourself. You really can. And you can use that as a tactic to duck somebody. But at the same time, too, we got to realize that, you know, in everything in life, you want to get paid as much as possible. So that's not necessarily a duck tactic all the time. It just means that, hey, man, I'm in here and I could potentially have memory loss. I could potentially suffer a chronic injury. I could potentially suffer a fatal injury. And I want to get compensated for that risk that I'm taking. Bitch. That's it. Yes, sir. But shout out to my guy. Shout out to my guy Clone, man, coming through with the graffiti on the chat walls, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
Shout out to my guy. He said, grab your boots and run. And he said the Brian Norman storms are coming, and you have to grab your boots and start running. That's what they do. He said, grab your boots and run. That was a cold line. That was cold, man. Shout out to Brian Norman, man. I rock with Brian Norman. You know what I'm saying? I like boots too, but I rock with Brian Norman as well. That was a cold line. He said, about to finish watching your vid. Angel Reese a bum. Just like... Hey, one time for the ladies, man. This man a hater. One time for the ladies, man. AR be holding it down, man. Chill out on AR, man. Shout out to all the ladies, you know what I'm saying, in athletics, you know. Love me an athletic woman, man. This man be hating, boy. Let me pull up the chat real quick. Shout out to my guy, man. I appreciate the $5, man. Shout out to my guy who's holding me down, man. Thank you, Clone. I appreciate you, bro. And welcome to the stream today. Good morning, my brother. Big member in the building. Pugilism in the building was good, bro. He said the reason that KO holds so much weight is because Sasaki was a highly ranked opponent. If not, we wouldn't consider it. Facts. And Sasaki was on an 8-fight win streak. He's a good fighter. Like, that's the thing. We can't just dismiss people because they lose and say they're trash. He was on an 8-fight win streak. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he only has 2 blemishes on his record, and both guys that are currently undefeated right now. Where's a shame in that? You know what I'm saying? He lost to Andy Hiroka, who could very much well become a champion if he gets that fight with Gary Anton Russell. I think Gary Anton Russell beats Andy Hiroka, but you never know, right? So let's say that Andy Hiroka, whether it's Gary Anton Russell or somebody else, let's say he gets a title shot and he becomes a title holder. So just Sasaki lost to 2 undefeated champions. What's a shame in that? You see what I'm saying? But you know, people don't really watch boxing, and they call people a hype job, and they never seen them fight before, and then they lose or they win, all of a sudden they're trash. Because if Brian Norman would have lost to Jin Sasaki, they would have also said Brian Norman was trash. But Brian Norman beats Jin Sasaki, so Jin Sasaki's trash. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just, how can you appreciate a phenomenal win if they acquired the win off of beating trash? Doesn't make sense. You know, it is what it is, though. My guy Clone in the building. I'm good. Shout out to you, Clone. Yes, sir. He said, bro, shout out to Sasaki. Facts. But he was on something. He was Patrick said he was on something. Hey, yo, he was on the juice. He was on the juice?
We do not let people who are on the juice discuss real athletes. That's all.
That's crazy, bro. He said he put him on the juice, bro. BR in the building. What's good, my brother? Salutations. He said we were supposed to have Brian Norman at Scope on the first Keyshawn card. Oh, really? Instead, we didn't get Keyshawn Santos this month and got Boa Chica at Scope. Oh, yeah. That's right. Remember, Brian Norman was initially supposed to be on the undercard of Keyshawn Davis. That's a fact. Yeah, I forgot about that. Revisit Norman versus Boca Chica or get Tiger Johnson. Yeah, we could revisit that because the Boca Chica and Norman was a no contest, right? So we could revisit that. That's cool. I don't think it's necessary, but that's cool. Yeah. So what happens to Brian Norman now? Who's his next opponent? Probably, hopefully he gets the winner of, you know, hopefully a unification, man. Hopefully he gets the winner of Barrios or Pacquiao, or he gets the winner of, I'm assuming it's going to be Lewis Crocker and Patty Donovan fighting for the vacant IBF title at 147. Hopefully he get the winner of that. But if not, then maybe, I mean, just fight another contender. You know what I'm saying? Just fight another contender. I don't see anything wrong with that. Hell, you can fight Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney talking a lot of stuff, or Bill Haney rather. So maybe get Devin Haney. But I got Brian Norman beating Devin Haney. You better stay away from Brian Norman. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to Devin Haney though. He said they downplaying Sasaki by hyping Karen and Stanionis for the sake of the Boots hype. I hate it. Right, exactly. But that's the thing though. BR, I like Boots. I actually think that Boots is a great fight. You know, I don't feel compelled to pick a side. I think Stanionis was a good fight. You know what I'm saying? I think Stanionis is a good fighter, but to your point, I also think Sasaki is a good fighter. And I also think Karen's a good fighter. I think Karen Chukazan is one of those guys that's just a tough fight for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I always compare him to guys like Sandor Martin or even Kyrone Davis that we saw at super middleweight. I think they're better than Kyrone Davis, but it's just a tough guy that's going to be a difficult out for anybody in the division, you know. And there's guys like that exist, you know. Sandor Martin's one of them. Like I said, Karen Chukazan's one of them. I think Karen versus Brian Norman's a good fight. I think Karen versus Barrios is a good fight. I think Stanionis and Norman's a good fight, you know. I think there's just some guys out there that they may not be able to get over the hump and become a title holder, but they're still tough opponents for anybody. I mean, look what Sandor Martin did with Alberto Puello. You know what I'm saying? Look what he did with when he fought Teofimo, and look what he did to Mikey Garcia before he retired. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I just think people just, I don't know, it's like you have to be, it's like great or bust. It's like I don't know, man. It's just so funny that these guys and girls be so critical of others, but they don't apply that same criticism to their lives because they would be better. It really stems from a lot of insecurity. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think, at least, you know. Albright, yeah, sir. Shout out to Woo. Shout out to here, Albright. Shout out to Woo. You know what I'm talking about? Shout out to Woo, man. I want Pac to win this so his podcast can get knocked out by Brian Norman. Yeah, right. I agree. Yeah, shout out to BR, man. Yeah. He said, we have people that say, I'm tired of people protecting their patty record. They just need to fight. Yep. That as soon as they lose, they say, oh, a bum anyways. Yep, he a bum anyways. That's what he's supposed to do. Exactly. It doesn't make you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. That's what I'm talking about, bro. And it's so funny with the criticism. I want to show y'all this too. I want to kind of switch gears real quick. Like I said, you can always call into the show and let me know what you want to, what your opinion is on the situation. But I think this is funny, man. I want to talk to this before I want to switch gears real quick. Shout out to Bill Haney, but Bill Haney's tripping when it comes to Devin Haney and Boots. He's trying to make it seem like Boots is ducking, ducking Devin. But it was funny because I want to show y'all two things. So this here, right? This is Bill Haney saying Boots' biggest bag was Devin at 147. That fight was on the table for Boots. I respect his move to 154, but let's be real. Teofimo Lopez and Brian Norman didn't bring enough to the table. So now that Boots has left to 154, all of a sudden everybody is saying that he's ducking him. We know Virgil Ortiz and them are calling out Boots, and Boots was at 147. Now Boots wants to fight with Virgil Ortiz, and all of a sudden Virgil Ortiz's hand is hurt, which is cool. That's cool. We're gonna get to that a little bit later. I don't care about his hand being hurt. That's cool if you don't want the fight. But it's just if the shoe was on the other foot, we'll be saying some other things, right? And then now, and then shout out to Brian Norman. I like Brian Norman. I wish the fight would have happened. I don't think Brian Norman was ducking and dodging Boots. I just think it just didn't line up at the time, and same with Boots. I don't think he's going to 154 to avoid Brian Norman. I just think it just didn't line up at the time. But it's funny what he said, that iconic line. I loved it. They heard that Brian Norman storm's coming. They pick up their boots and start running. I love that joint. But he also called out Boots, and now Devin Haney's calling out Boots. And I like Devin Haney and Bill Haney, but come on, man, stop capping. We all know you don't want that pressure, but I respect it. Bill Haney he's doing this promotion thing, and he's keeping Devin Haney's name not only relevant but at the forefront of people's minds. So I get it. But this is what bothered me right here, man. Yeah, the Grand Prix going crazy. I'm watching it right now. Well, this is what bothered me right here. This is Dan Rafael, man. Dan Rafael said, so Ennis made a deal with Virgil Ortiz at 154, then reneged by insisting 147. Then he had a big offer for the 140-pound champ, Teofimo, but wouldn't take it despite no big fight set. Then announced going to 154 before Norman scores a huge KO. Ennis 147-pound quote-unquote legacy is at 147 is beating Stanionis, but he's generational. So basically, Dan Rafael is mocking him, right? And he said that he announced it before. So do you think that Boots Ennis is an oracle? Do you think that he's some type of prognosticator? How would he know that Brian Norman was going to look good or look bad against Sasaki? Like, now you're just reaching, you know what I'm saying? But but essentially you're shitting on a guy, right? Which is, that's your opinion. That's cool, But I was just like, man, how come I can't reply to this? And he said, you can't reply because the author has blocked you. And I'm like, dang, I don't really say anything. I was like, I really had to think about it. I was like, dang, did I say anything personal to Dan Rafael? And I had to go back. I was like, man, let me go look at my past tweets. I was like, bro, I don't remember saying anything crazy to Dan Rafael or outside of boxing. I don't really speak on, say crazy stuff. Every time I say something, I keep it boxing, you know what I'm saying? And then so I went back and I was curious. I was like, man, what did I say? And then I went back and I saw the last time I replied to Dan Rafael. And this is why he blocked me, chat. He said Cruz TKO's Mishiro in 5 in a grotesque match. He says, shame on the IBF in all caps. He said, for having him so high in the rankings. Can't fight at all. Big heart, nothing else at all. Cruz now mandatory for Murataya. So basically you say because Mishiro lost to Andy Cruz, he didn't deserve the fight. I'm like, no, Mishiro got the Andy Cruz fight based off of merit, based off of rankings, And then so my response was this. So my response was the WBC ranked Pacquiao number 5 and cleared him for the Barrios title shot out of nowhere. 46-year-old Pacquiao. And I said the WBA ranked Nonito Donaire number 5 approved Nick Ball's 126 title defense versus two 122-pounders back-to-back, meaning he fought TJ Doheny coming off of a knockout loss against Naoya Inoue, and now he's about to fight Sam Goodman, another guy that he's pulling up at 122. And then I said the WBO allowed a bad call to stand in the Suarez versus Navarrete fight, meaning that Charlie Suarez should have beat Emmanuel Navarrete, but the WBO didn't change the call to a punch, which it was clearly because we saw the replay. They kept it a headbutt, and now they gave Charlie Suarez a loss. And they switched it to a no contest, but they still didn't give Suarez a victory, right? Undefeated Charlie Suarez, right? So then I said, yeah, all that happened with the WBC, WBA, WBO, but you're mad at the IBF for giving fighters a chance to fight. And I said, boxing media, shaking my head. And he blocked me. And I don't, bro, check me out. I don't care that he blocked me. That's not the point. My point is that I kept it boxing. I could have called him a fat, sloppy body, soggy, mutt mouth ass bitch. I could have called him that. I didn't though, right? I didn't make it personal. I just said that the WBC did some shady stuff. The WBA did some shady stuff. The WBO did some shady stuff. But he blocked me. I didn't make any personal shots. I kept it boxing and he blocked me. So my point is this, bro. It be the most sensitive, punk ass cowardice bitches that will talk the most trash about people, especially when you lose. But then when you respond to them, they get sensitive. It's so funny that a lot of these guys and girls out here are saying, oh, we should have a no running rule, but you run from conversation. Because in your profession, when somebody replies to your comment and you block them, that means that you ran. I'm not saying that we have to engage in a conversation, but I didn't make any personal attacks. I didn't say anything racist or hateful or discriminatory. I didn't say anything towards his family, his mother. You know what I'm saying? Okay, then block me. It's not like I'm constantly berating him with replies and attacks, but he blocked me. But these guys are the ones that he just literally talked trash about Mishiro in the IBF. And then after that, he talked trash about Jerron Boots Ennis, who's a champion, undefeated champion. And he tried to minimize his win over Stanionis and said that's not that great, even though Stanionis was another undefeated champion at the time, the Lithuanian WBA champion at the time that Jerron Boots Ennis fought him. But he blocks me because I respond with factual statements. And it doesn't even matter if it's facts or not. That's not the point. My point is that he's sensitive. But those are the type of people you would think when people are sensitive that they will be courteous and considerate of other people's sensitivities. No, the people that are the most sensitive, they're usually the most rude simultaneously. It's funny how that works, right? Think about it in your life. The people that talk the most trash are usually the softest ones. When you talk trash back, they try to play the victim. It's just crazy, bro. So the same people will call Jin Sasaki trash. They'll call Stanionis trash. They'll call Brian Norman trash. Jerron Boots Ennis trash. Terrence Crawford trash. Canelo trash. But then when you respond to something and you don't make it personal, they feel violated and they feel and they get upset. It's just funny, man. I just think that's just funny, man. I just think that's funny. He checked these journalists. I'm not even checking. I was just responding. I was like, dang, I'm blocked. That's what I do. So I had to go back and do my research. Like, dang, because I know me. I'm like, bro, I don't think I said anything and took it out of boxing. But, you know, I just had to make sure for my own. I had to make sure. I had to check myself. I was like, hold on, did I say anything? You know, because I was like, dang, I said something to get blocked. But I don't mind being blocked. But that's the point is that, you know, it's just funny how the people that are the most sensitive also talk the most trash simultaneously. It's crazy. Truth hurts, Doctor. Simple as that. Facts, Patrick. Yeah, you crushed him with the honest facts. I heard this BS talking points. I guess so. But it's just funny that, like, you know, shout out to BR. But yeah, I guess. I don't know. But I was just shocked at that. I was like, dang, what was I blocked for, you know? But anyway, you know, people are gonna lose, bro. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose. It's boxing, you know. But yeah, man, I think Bill saying that Boots is ducking Haney is crazy, bro. And whether you like Devin Haney or not, I don't think anybody in their right mind thinks that Boots is ducking Devin Haney, you know. He maybe might want to say ducking Brian Norman, possibility. Maybe you want to say Brian Norman's ducking Boots, possibility. But Brian Norman's not ducking Haney, and Boots is not ducking Haney, man. Shout out to Haney. He's just not a threat like that at 147. Hell, I mean, he hasn't even legitimately had a real fight at 147 yet. He had a fight above 140 with Jose Carlos Ramirez, but that was at 144. It was at a catchweight, you know. So he still hasn't even made that full transition to 147 yet. So to suggest that champions, undefeated champions at that, Brian Norman being an undefeated WBO champion and Jerron Boots Ennis being an undefeated unified and Ring Magazine 147-pound champion is ducking Devin Haney is crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. He said, I think Rolly is getting elevated. Yeah, I said that already, BR. Yep. He might get elevated to a full champion for the WBA and get the winner Pacquiao Barrios. That'd be crazy. But also, it's a possibility too, because remember, Shakram Giyashov is a mandatory for the WBA, and Jerron Boots Ennis inherited that mandatory from Emantis Stanionis, because Shakram Giyashov took step-aside money in order to have the Stanionis and Boots fight. Right? So Shakram Giyashov could potentially get a title shot and maybe have Rolly versus Shakram for the full WBA title at 147. That's a possibility too. But because Shakram's with Batroom and he's not a big name, I could see PBC just bypassing him, sidestepping him, and just elevating Rolly Romero off the bat. And then even elevate him and then maybe have it as Rolly's first title defense. You never know. Yeah, the Grand Prix is lit, Oscar. That's a fact. Phase 2 of the Grand Prix is lit. Yes, sir. He trades with Bobak. Avius. Yeah, I like Avius Griffin, man. He's the one that got the gold grill in his mouth, right, Patrick? Yeah, Avius Griffin, man. I got to see more of him, though. A pseudo journalist, I'm telling you. We got 2 sets in the building. What's good? He said, we'll be surprised if you got reported. I might get reported, bro. Calling in 10 minutes, TikTok. I bet. But yeah, man, Haney is more out of pocket versus Ramirez at that conversation with Rafael. Right. Like, bro, like I said, I don't mind getting blocked. It's not the point. But the point is that these guys that talk so tough and are so critical of others are so sensitive when it comes to people even having a conversation or replying or critiquing them. It's like the other day I told Dan Canobio that he was tripping because he was saying something about Ryan Garcia and not keeping the same energy when it comes to somebody else cheating. He was just like, he was very dismissive of the Ryan Garcia situation and said something about Devin Haney, what Devin Haney has to do to bounce back. Like you would think Devin Haney lost. And I said, that's crazy because, Devin Haney won, but you're acting like PEDs don't matter. But then when you talk about PEDs with your co-host, Chris Algieri, all of a sudden PEDs mean a lot. And he's like, oh, everybody's entitled to their opinion. Yeah, bitch, you gave your opinion and I gave my opinion to you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, of course everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's what it is. But then you realize that, some people feel like that their opinion means more than others because of the position that they're in. And you realize that the founder of CompuBox, no disrespect to Dan Canobio, but the guy that invented CopyBox, or I don't know if he invented it, but yeah, I think he did, is his father. So that's why some people are in the position that they're in, not because of their own merit, but because of nepotism. You know what I'm saying? It's funny, we talk about nepotism when it comes to LeBron and Bronny James, but we don't talk about nepotism when it comes to other people getting in the position that they're in. You see what I'm talking about? Because I was wondering, who the heck is Dan Canobio? You know what I'm saying? When I first saw him, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, your father is one of the founders of CompuBox, so that's why you're in the position that you're in, not because of you're just a great journalist or your opinions are more educated opinions than others. It's just, it is what it is, man. Shout out to you though. That's dope. Ideally, we want to be able to put all our kids in better positions, but don't try to act like you're just some extra qualified expert on a topic when you're kind of not, and it's so easy to see your contradictions. You know what I'm talking about? Fighters rarely duck each other. They have too much ego. Exactly. Usually the promoters that block fights, right? Or maybe the money is not adequate. You know what I'm saying? They want to get compensated adequately, and they deserve that because you do take risks. Look at the other guy. What's his name? Rest in peace, Anaguchi. Remember he fought Seiya Susumi. Patrick, was it December 2023, I believe? And he passed away in January 2024. He was like 23 years old. Just like Sasaki's 23, right? But he had a brutal fight and he passed away from head trauma. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about like PEDs don't matter or these fighters shouldn't be compensated, you're crazy. I guarantee you that no matter how much money he made, which probably wasn't a lot, that he would give up, him and his family would give back every penny to have his life back. You see what I'm saying? So before we start judging, I'm not saying that you can't price yourself out. Of course, that's the reality. You can. Some people use pricing themselves out as a duck tactic, but not everybody does. People just want to get paid, just like your goofy ass wants to get paid to your job. If you ever had the experience of discussing or negotiating the salary, that's how it works. Now, everybody doesn't have that privilege. You know what I'm saying? Like me being an engineer and stuff like that, I've went through salary negotiations. These are things that happen when you have an expertise in a field of specialty. You know what I'm saying? You get opportunity to negotiate your salary. Every time they fight, they negotiate their salary. That's what that is. It's nothing more, nothing less. So you can get mad and be selfish and be ignorant to a topic, but then you shouldn't be loud about it simultaneously. You know what I'm saying? That's just my personal opinion. It is what it is. He said, I was the opposite of nepotism. He said, my boss hired me because his rival would have hired me and wanted to prove him wrong. Shout out to your boss, man. Shout out to your boss. And shout out to you, man. My guy Thomas in the building. What's good, brethren? But yeah, so on another note with Boots, and then we're going to get to this ring talk. On another note with Boots, Boots was talking about fighting Virgil Ortiz, according to Eddie Hearn, but Virgil Ortiz didn't want to fight. He wasn't ready to fight in August. So Jerome Boots Ennis was going to have his first fight at 154, his debut against I believe Virgil Ortiz is a WBA interim champion, I believe, or regular champion. I can't remember, at 154. So he was going to do that, right? Because a lot of people are saying that Boots and Virgil Ortiz, who could have fought at 147, are saying that Boots didn't really want to fight him because he was avoiding fighters at 154. And I'm not saying Virgil Ortiz is ducking Boots. I'm not going to join the goofball crowd. But if it was the other way around and, Boots was ready to fight, Virgil was ready to fight Boots, and then Boots had a hand injury, people will say you're ducking, right? So a lot of people right now, well, not a lot of people, but there's a couple people out there that are saying that Virgil Ortiz is essentially ducking Boots. And while I might slightly disagree, I'm not mad at that because that's the same energy we were giving to Boots, who was a champion, a unified champion at 147. because he didn't fight a guy that was outside his division at 154. I love Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Boots in this fight. I love that fight, you know. But apparently, according to Virgil Ortiz, his hand is hurt, so he won't be able to fight for till 2026, and I'm cool with that. He showed his scar on his hand to justify and corroborate with his story, you know what I'm saying, to justify his timeout, and that's cool, you know what I'm saying. His hand is injured. I wouldn't want Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Boots in this to fight when one of them is handicapped or compromised. I wouldn't want that. I want them to fight when they're 100% so we can really see who the best fighter is. But it's just funny that, you know, Boots moves up and then somebody is unavailable, somebody that we said was available the whole time. So what I'm hoping is that when Boots moves up to 154, to me, 154 is already the best division because you got guys like Sebastian Fedora, Tim Tszyu, Israel Madrimov, Terrence Crawford, kind of, because he's moving up to go fight Canelo. You got Jermell Charlo coming back. You have Jesus Ramos, Erickson the Hammer Lubin. You have so many people, Serhii Boyd, people I didn't name, you know? And now you add Jaron Boots into that, not to mention the young bull, Xander Zayas, Jonas Tellis, Charles Conwell. So there's a lot of good people, you know, a lot of depth and parity at 154. So now you add Jaron Boots into that, it's going to be great. But it'll be crazy if they don't really fight him, man. And I don't want people to blame Boots now because Boots has moved up to 154, and you know, every fight should really be a banger almost because there's so many fighters at 154 that are good. So we'll see how it goes, man. But we just got to be a little bit patient, and I don't mind waiting for Virgil Ortiz. Hey, bro, you hurt? Go ahead and get healed. You know what I'm saying? But I think we could not put it on Boots right now, at least. So we'll see how it goes. Did Jermell announce a comeback? Not officially, but he has a fight unofficially coming up, you know. But yeah, so he said, why not give them all the shine? He'll leave in the Swan that they thought he was an ugly duckling. Yeah, he'll be the Swan that they thought was an ugly duckling. Facts. So yeah, man. So we got to see it, and yeah, I do believe that he has a hand injury. I'm not mad at it, but, you know, we just got to keep it fair and keep it funky, man. If that was the other way around, we would say Boots is ducking because we say Boots is ducking for less. So hopefully we get these fights at 154. It's not guaranteed, but there are a lot of good fights to be had at 154, man. And a lot of them involving Boots and other folks. So we'll see how it goes, man. But now, switching topics, man. Oh yeah, and Vin, ain't nothing wrong with nepotism now. We should strive for nepotism, make it a good thing. But if you're gonna make it a bad thing, make it a bad thing for everybody, you know. You know, because there's a lot of people that critique nepotism conveniently and selectively, you know. But yeah, man. So I want to switch topics. I think we have my boy Oscar calling in. I think he said in 10 minutes though. I want to talk about the Sheeraz situation, man. So we got Turki Alalshikh, right? We got Turki Alalshikh. You know, a lot of people talking about the no running rule, and we don't want people to run, and we don't want the Tom and Jerry antics, and we don't want these guys. We want these guys to fight. We want to see them brawl. We don't want to see anybody running or playing tag, right? So that's the thing. We don't want to see people circling around the ring, right? We want to see brawls and heavy heated fights, right? Cool, you know. So Turki Alalshikh, with that, he said he wanted a smaller ring, and we knew that a long time ago because we really watch boxing and interviews. I watch it too much, but Jim Kambosos, before the fight with Richard Hitchens and George Kambosos, he was talking about one of the fighters that he manages, in Imam Katayev. Imam Katayev is fighting David Morrell on the same card, on the undercard of Edgar Berlanga and Hamzah Sheeraz, you know, under the co-main event of Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda, and under Alberto Puella Subra Matias, right? So that's a great card. But Jim Kambosos was essentially bragging that he has a pressure fighter and they're going to change the ring to an 18-by-18 because Turki Alalshikh wants to see fights. He doesn't want to see people running. Cool. Shakur Stevenson agreed to it. Cool. From what I heard, David Morrell agreed to it. Cool. Because they're under this notion that a smaller ring is going to save their one-dimensional handicapped fighter. No, it's not. You got to work on your weaknesses, right? But that's cool. Shakur was cool with it, going against the heavy pressure fighter of Zepeda. David Morrell was cool with it, going against the heavy pressure of Imam Katayev. Edgar Berlanga welcomed it, right? You know, fighting Hamzah Sheeraz, and Shakur agreed with it, right? You would think that Shakur was the one that wouldn't want it, right? But I want y'all to check this out, though. You would think Shakur, who's the runner, who's a Tom and Jerry type of fighter, you know, the American style that they like to hate on, right? Which I'm not a big fan of Shakur Stevenson. You know, I like Tank. I think Tank beats him. But, and I'm not saying it's the most fun, but it is a boxing style. It's not the most interesting, but it is a boxing style. And I don't think that you should handicap fighters from their style, whether you like them or not. Now, Turki Alalshikh is the person that's the billfold. He's providing all the money. So if you're paying fighters, then you pay for the fighters that you like or pay for the fighters that you don't like. But you should not employ fighters to fight in your cards and then try to handicap them. That's wrong. I don't care if you are the billfold. If you don't want to see Shakur fight, don't purchase the pay-per-view. If you don't want to see Devin Haney fight, don't put him on your card. But don't put him on your card and then try to tell them, oh, you can only fight this way, because you're sabotaging the event. But anyway, Shakur Stevenson was cool with it, because I also agree with Shakur Stevenson. I said this a long time ago, that, you know, a small ring's not going to save you. So let's check it out right here, man. So Edgar Berlanga came out and he said this. He said, hold on, what happened to the ring being 18 by 18, Turki Alalshikh? So yeah, if you read this, your spider sense is tingling. That's what happened to me too. You know what I'm saying? My hood sense is tingling. I know it's set up when I see it. Something's too something seemed a little fishy, bitch. It might be a little fish. You know what I'm talking about? So we said, what happened to the ring being 18 by 18? And he added Turki Alalshikh. Because we remember Shakur agreed to it, right? So essentially he's saying that the ring is no longer smaller. And then you do a little digging, you scratch below the surface, and you see that Hamzah Sheeraz is the one that objected to this ring being smaller. He's the one that wanted to box. So Turki Alalshikh, and I like Big Turk, you know what I'm saying? He's been doing great for boxing. I'll keep saying that, in my opinion. But he's been looking a little shaky and suspicious. And this looks very shaky, baby. You know what I'm talking about? So he suddenly switched it for Shakur and Zepeda for excitement, because he doesn't like Tom and Jerry antics. But then his fighter, who's the ring ambassador, Hamzah Sheeraz, who he coincidentally and coincidentally, due to his sabotaging, you know what I'm saying, his meddling, conveniently got a draw against Carlos Adames, because he disclosed the score, and essentially Carlos Adames was robbed out of his victory. Yeah, that Hamzah Sheeraz. Once again, he's getting some more concessions in his favor. You talk about partiality. Like, that's one thing about Turk. He's not seeming impartial or unbiased at all. He seems like he's very partial, very biased, and he's even willing to sabotage or change things for the benefit of his fighter. I thought you don't like Tom and Jerry antics. I thought you wanted to make the ring smaller. Oh, but Hamzah Sheeraz, God forbid, Hamzah Sheeraz objects to it, and all of a sudden now we're going back to a 20 by 24 foot ring, or we're going back to a traditional size ring. Before, you wanted it small though. But because Edgar Berlanga might have been benefited from it, and Hamzah Sheeraz is your fighter, you no longer wanted to be a small ring. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That joke is looking crazy, bro. It's not a good look at all. Like I said, I think that is trash, you know, because it didn't seem like Shakur Stevenson had a choice. And even Shakur Stevenson, he's like, bet, I agree to it. Let's get it. Because he's a complete fighter. You know what I'm saying? David Morrell didn't object. You know what I'm saying? So Hamzah Sheeraz, he objects because he's fighting Edgar Berlanga. And so now it's no longer changed to a small ring. But I thought we didn't like Tom and Jerry antics. So it seems like once again, it's not the action, it's the person that we judge. It's not the, we don't judge the action, we judge the person. So when it comes to Shakur Stevenson outboxing somebody, he don't like it because it's Tom and Jerry. When it comes to William Skull or David Haney outboxing somebody, he don't like it because it's Tom and Jerry, it's cat and mouse. Oh, but Hamzah Sheeraz wants to box. Oh, he can box. Bro, it's crazy, bro. That looks terrible, bro. Shakur is not a runner. That's cat facts. He makes people miss in the pocket, bro. Don't be surprised if he stops to pay the. Yeah, facts. He said, George the last Patriot, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. Yeah, I think that's crazy. He said, guy in the green court, I'm going to pull you up, bro. He said, Badu Jack versus old Tommy Hearns at cruiserweight. Cruiserweight. Come on, bro. Come on, man. He's what's good, George? Appreciate you dropping the biscuits, man. Doc, this young Mexican guy, they trying to pressure to become a pressure fighter rather than boxing, bro. Oh, this is the young. Okay. On the Grand Prix right now, bet. Guy in the green corner, bet. I'm gonna pull up my guy Oscar. I'm gonna see what he has to say about this, man. I want to get his opinion. So if you have an opinion on this, man, always call in, bro. I want your opinions to be heard. You can agree or disagree. You know what I'm saying? There's no pressure. This is boxing conversation here. But I just think that's funny though. You know what I'm saying? So it's not conclusive. I don't think it's definitive that the ring won't be changed, but I think it's being heavily contemplated to not change it anymore. I'm not sure if it's they could still possibly change it, but from what I've been seeing and reading, and even from Edgar Berlanga, the ring is no longer 18 by 18. Ain't that funny? You know what I'm saying? The ring ambassador, you know, one of Turki Alalshikh's fighters, doesn't want the ring to be smaller. All of a sudden now that's all it takes for it not to be smaller anymore. But before, you know, when it was to the advantage of Zepeda and when it was to the advantage of Imam Katayev, you know, it was cool to handicap Shakur Stevenson and David Morrell. But you know, now that you're a ring ambassador, you're one of your fighters doesn't want it. All of a sudden now it's no longer being considered. That's crazy, bro. Shout out to my guy Oscar in the building. What's good, brother?
Yo,
What's good, man? How are you?
I'm good. I'm watching the Grand Prix.
Yes,
I wake
sir.
up early today just to catch it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Hey, before I go into it, that guy Utria, the Colombian guy, bro, he gonna be problems.
Oh yeah, he's the one that when he fought the first time he went back to Colombia. I was watching his little welcome. I believe it was him.
Yeah, it was him.
Yeah, like a little
But yeah,
parade, man. He had a parade for winning, unlike Hamzah. I mean, unlike Edgar.
He had a vicious knockout the first day,
Yeah.
and on phase 2, it's like, he's just boxing. Like he's gonna be problems, honestly.
Yeah, man. Yeah, this Grand Prix is nice, bro. Ooh, there's a big right hand. I've seen a lot of good fighters, man.
Yeah, that's the young guy in the green corner. I'm telling you that Juan Marcus is like, no, he needs to fight like a Mexican. He needs to come forward. He needs to put the pressure on the guy. He needs to stop going on his back foot.
Yeah.
I'm like, shut up, bro.
Right, bro. Like let fighters fight, man. Of course, you know, there's more interesting and more intriguing styles than others. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, like it's no coincidence that the fighters that I like the most are big hitters and they come forward and pressure a lot of times. And I think I see the fighters that I like as complete fighters, but I don't really care for the quote unquote boxing style all the time either, like the elusive style. But I don't think that fighters shouldn't be able to fight their style of fighting. That's crazy.
Yeah, and he's only 16. He's still got bunch of room to grow.
Oh, he's only 16. Oh wow.
Yeah. I think Sullivan made a special clause or something for him. I don't know.
Oh, okay, to get him in. Okay, that's what's up. I didn't know he was that young.
Yeah, he's super young. But talking about styles and all that, and you know what? It's gonna sound wrong, but I don't really give a fuck. There's a couple people that come here, on the daily, and I better if they say anything about this Sasaki being a bum, yeah, I'm gonna be on their head top. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm telling you.
Because, I don't know what happened between yesterday and today, or not even then. It was like from morning to afternoon, everything changed.
Yep.
Before it was PEDs, they're not testing him. That's what he's gonna win, and this and that. As soon as he gets knocked out, oh, he's a bum. See, that's what's supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what?
Yep.
Wait, give me a minute. Let me gather my thoughts. So this guy sucks, but you were worried about everything else?
Yep.
So make it make sense for me.
They can't make it make sense, bro. They can't make sense, bro.
But it's just give the guy his flowers, man. Like he did everything we've been asking fighters to do. Fighters with names like Tio pump fakes every single time he can.
Mm-hmm.
Saying he wants to fight Boots, saying he wants to fight Norman, saying he wants to fight Haney, saying he wants to fight Ryan. When the time comes, he always got an excuse.
Always.
It's like he came from Asia to America, the continent, not the state, to America to call the guy, and he just so happened to lose. What's his defense? His defense shitty? Yeah, but if you watch him, then you'll know it.
Right.
I just watch one fight and make a whole career assessment from it.
Right.
But
He punched him in his arm. But yeah, I mean, no, I agree. It's like, yeah, they just watch one fight and they act like they know the fighter and they say he's overhyped. And then if Brian Norman would have lost, then Brian Norman would have been overhyped too. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
And what's up with you getting in Twitter beef?
No Twitter beef, bro. I'm not beefing with Dan Raphael, but that's why I had to go look. I'm like, dang, did I say anything crazy? Maybe I did, because don't get me wrong, sometimes I will talk a little trash, but I usually keep it boxing, you know? That's why I had to go back and do my research. I'm like, bro, what did I say? And that's what I said, bro. Can you imagine that, bro? The man got mad because I said that the WBO, WBA, WBC also do shady business. It's basically what I said. I didn't make any personal attack, and the man blocked me, but then he'll turn around and talk trash about all these great fighters, you know, and try to diminish what they're doing, you know? So like, it's like, bro, if you can't take critiques or you can't take somebody talking to you, then how can you so openly talk about somebody else? I'll never understand that. I never understand that, bro.
Yeah. And I agree with you. It's like always the loudest.
Oh,
Though they might be a minority, they're the loudest.
yes.
Then as soon as, not even punch them, just touch them. Dude, one time I went to Mexico and there was this guy, you know, he had a little accent, so he was begging for money. I felt bad for the guy.
Right.
I didn't have much change.
Right.
I gave him a 10 pesos coin, and he threw it right back at me. And I just threw it right back at the back of his dome. My brother was like, bro, what you doing? I'm like, this motherfucker begging for money, and then he threw the money back at me. What the fuck?
Yep. Yeah, bro. You know it's crazy, bro.
That's the asshole.
No, you're not, because I had a similar experience one time. I think I was in Atlanta, and then somebody asked me for money, a guy on the street, and I gave him like I only had a card on me. I had like some cash. I think I didn't have that much cash. I think I had like $2 or something. So I gave him $2. He's like, "Oh, this it?" I said, "Oh, that's it." I said, "Give me it back." He said, "No, I'm cool." I said, "Nah, bro, give my money back, bro." I said, "No, you can't get that, bro. You gonna ask me for money? You not gonna say thank you? You gonna say that's it?" I said, "Bro, get out my face, give my money back, before I whoop your ass." He gave it. He said, "All right, chill," because first he didn't want to get back to me. I said, "Nah, bro, watch your mouth next time. Be appreciative." I said, "You don't give me back my money, bro. I'm finna whoop your ass." I was younger, chat. I was younger and less patient, you know. But yeah, I made him give back my money, bro. Nah, bro, you ain't gonna disrespect me like that. You disrespect my kindness. I don't care if I gave you a penny, bro. You asked me. I don't have to give you anything. You know what I'm talking
Exactly,
about?
bro.
I don't have to give you anything.
But yeah, and Raphael, bro, that motherfucker. Even in the shows, like, not even whenever they're questioning him, but like whenever they catch him slipping, because that's the thing. Whenever you're not solid or anything, you're gonna be slipping the whole time. But whenever he gets caught, he always just like has this little flirt and like just walks out.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. You can't be like that. I mean, you can, but I think it's corny, bro. Yeah, it's corny, bro. It's corny, bro.
Yeah, you know what they should call Boots?
What's that?
They should change him from Boots to Ross.
Why?
He gets more criticism for less. He gets more for less.
That's true. You're right about that. You're right about
It's
that.
like it's like you ever heard the saying the ducks are shooting guns?
So now the hunter becomes the hunted.
Yeah, but in Mexico, it's like the ducks are shooting guns now. That's what it's said in Spanish. But it's like, bro, the duck being Boots or Norman.
Yep.
Remember?
Yep.
He grabbed the gun, and now everybody like, yeah, Boots duck. Boots duck. That's him. But then when it comes to Virgil Ortiz, everybody's quiet, bro.
Right. And like I said, I don't think Virgil Ortiz is ducking. But if you're gonna say that, then you got to keep the same energy. That's all I'm saying. I think these fights will happen, man. We just got. Oh, that was a big right hand. I think these fights will happen, man. But yeah, Oscar, I appreciate you calling in and letting me know what your feelings are, bro. I agree with a lot that you said, man, and damn near everything, you know.
Hamzah Sheeraz a bitch. Yeah, I said it.
Bro, that's crazy. Bro, Hamzah Sheeraz, bro, I don't know, man. I'm not, but that's the thing. I'm not mad at Hamzah Sheeraz. I'm so glad you just said that. I'm so glad you just said that. I'm gonna go ahead and hop out, but I'm gonna try to see if you want to call back in. Please call back in. I'm gonna get back to this freaking Grand Prix, bro. I appreciate you, bro. Shout out to my guy Oscar, always calling in, man. Thank you, bro. He said he's injured. Who's injured? Virgil Ortiz. Yeah, we know Virgil Ortiz is injured, but that's the point. It doesn't matter, you know. We said that Virgil Ortiz was getting ducked by Boots, right? And Boots wasn't even in his division. You know, so if you're gonna say that, they keep the same energy, because if Boots said he was injured, people would say it's cap. We know his hand is injured, right? But you know, I don't think that I think these fights will happen, but I think the bigger issue is that we have to be impartial. You know, we can't give fighters reasons to not fight, but then we are questioning everybody else's reasons to not fight. That's the point, man. Shout out to Oscar. Yeah, Patrick said that he said Sasaki is not a bum. Can't no fighter be called a bum. Facts. He said he was still on PEDs though. Oh man. So yeah, just Sasaki, he might have been. I don't know. I hope not. I'm not gonna say that, but yeah, shout out to Patrick, man. He has a good reason to believe that. Shout out to you. I don't believe that, but you know, I gotta give the fighters the benefit of the doubt. But my point is that you know, with Virgil Ortiz, I think these fights will happen. You know, we just got to be patient. But shout out to Oscar though, when he said about Hamzah Sheeraz, you know, I don't mind Hamzah Sheeraz not wanting a small ring, of course, because he wants to box. You know, his let's say his goal and his game plan is going to be to outbox Edgar Berlanga. It's not going to be to stand in the paint. and exchange or trade excessively with Edgar Berlanga, we know how that is going to end up. Edgar Berlanga is a big hitter, right? We know that. Whether you're fighting quote unquote bums or not, it's very hard to knock somebody out 16 times consecutively. Sorry, knock 16 different people out consecutively in the first round. That's phenomenal. I don't care who he's fighting. You know what I'm saying? 16 consecutive first round knockouts, your 17th professional fight being your 17th round of professional boxing. That's crazy. Now, of course, it was more indicative of him fighting lackluster competition, because once he stepped up in competition, his KOs not only slowed down, they completely stopped for a little bit. So we know that it wasn't mostly being him. It wasn't just him being a great fighter. It was also matchmaking, because he was with Top Rank too. We know matchmaking is good with Top Rank, especially with the younger fighters. But at the same time, he does have power. So we know that he does have power. Hamzah Sheeraz acknowledges his power, and that's how he's going to game plan against his power. He's not just going to walk into one of his opponent's strengths. He's trying to exploit his weakness and his weaknesses and his vulnerabilities. And he feels like Edgar Berlanga's weakness and vulnerability is his lack of boxing capability, and he thinks that his boxing ability is higher, right? Same thing Shakur thinks about Zepeda. Oh, but when it comes to Shakur Zepeda, Turkey didn't care about that. He was going to make the ring smaller to make it more advantageous and beneficial for Zepeda, because it's for the sake of excommunicating and exiling Tom and Jerry type fighters and boxing type fighters. And same with Imam Katayev. He was ready to handicap David Burrell and put it in favor of Imam Katayev. Oh, but when his fighter Hamzah Sheeraz, who's the ring ambassador, one of his pets, if you will, he wants to no longer, all of a sudden he has a change of heart and he's going to make it big again. So he doesn't really care about fighters boxing. He just cares about fighters that he likes being comfortable, whether that's boxing or running or brawling or not. And I think that's terrible, bro. And that's, to me, that's the biggest issue. I could care less that Hamzah Sheeraz wants a big ring. I mean, he should, right? Because a normal size ring will help him beat Edgar Berlanga, right? Because you should be able to box, but you shouldn't handicap fighters, because you shouldn't make concessions for fighters that you like and be dismissive of other things and be ready to handicap fighters that you don't really care for or you don't like or whatever. So once again, it's just easier for guys and girls we live in a boxing landscape right now. The current boxing landscape is just like we are more willing to critique others and handicap others and try to masquerade like it's for the betterment of boxing. No, it's not. Even the no running rule, like Oscar De La Hoya ran from Tito Ortiz. No one said anything about that. Tito Ortiz, sorry. Tito Trinidad, excuse me. Tito Ortiz is a UFC guy. Felix Trinidad, Oscar De La Hoya ran from him. Was running a problem then? Vasily Lomachenko, he moves a lot. Was it running a problem then? Jermaine Ortiz ran from Teofimo. Was it a problem then? Guillermo Rigondeaux wasn't the most, you know what I'm saying? He moved. When I say running, I don't really think running. I'm just using the verbiage that they use and the terminology that they use. You know, there's a lot of elusive fighters, but all of a sudden now, because it's easy to attack Devin Haney, and Devin Haney does it and he wins, now all of a sudden we want a no running rule. And and you think it's a coincidence that these guys that are content creators and boxing aficionados, do you think it's a coincidence that they are Ryan Garcia fans? It's not a coincidence, bro. It's not about running. It's about the fact that they don't like Devin Haney that much that they're willing to change the rules to handicap him. And I'm not a big Devin Haney fan either. Go look. It's well documented. I put my money on Ryan Garcia to beat Devin Haney before I knew about him cheating. I didn't think he was going to cheat, you know what I'm saying? But I thought because Devin Haney fights a lot of guys, at least recently, you know, he's been fighting a lot of guys that he was bigger than, he was younger than, he was stronger than. Ryan Garcia was the same age, you know what I'm saying? The same size, if not bigger, and just as strong, if not stronger. So I was like, okay, bet this is going to put Devin Haney in a position he hasn't been in a while. So that's why I put money on Ryan Garcia, and I was right until I was wrong because the man cheated. And he's a racist son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, but the fact is that people think that PEDs don't matter all of a sudden. Like, I've never seen as many people say that, oh, it was just a little amount of PEDs. Everybody's a toxicologist. Everybody's a phlebotomist. And I never see people question the significance of PEDs. No one said that, oh, Conor Ben was on a little bit of PEDs. Nobody said Amir Khan was on a small quantity of PEDs. No one cared about quantitative measurements then for them. Even Canelo or Alicia Bumgarner. But all of a sudden, Ryan Garcia cheats Devin Haney. Now all of a sudden, we're all worried about, the significance of PEDs and how much they enhance your performance. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, we don't care about that. You just don't like Devin Haney that much that you're hating on the young man, and you're trying to do anything you can to smear him. And I think that's corny. I think that's very corny, bro, and it's disingenuous. And you're trying to act like, oh, it's for the betterment of boxing. No, it's not, because we've seen people move around excessively before. Dimitri Bivol moves around excessively. We've seen this type of stuff happen before. And if you really don't like it, then don't watch him. It's simple. It's simple, bro. If you see a fighter that employs a style that you don't like, don't watch some fighters fight. If you don't, it's one thing to say, oh, I don't want to watch Devin Haney. I'm not going to watch his fights. I'm not going to pay for his fights. That's cool. I'm not going to watch Shakur Stevenson fights. It's boring. That's cool. But it's another thing to say, okay, bet, I'm going to pay Shakur Stevenson. I'm going to pay Devin Haney to be on my card. And once they're on my card, I'm going to change the rules to handicap them. Like, oh, I'm going to suddenly, after the fight is signed, I'm going to ask them if they want to do a small ring. And if they don't agree, I'm going to put it out in the public so you can make it seem like they're cowards. Oh, but Hamzah Sheeraz doesn't want the small ring anymore. And then you suddenly have a change of heart. And you no longer want to force a smaller ring on them. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. And I like Turk, but that's corny as hell. Shout out to my guy Clarence in the building. What's good? He said facts. Yeah, it's facts, bro. You know, I like boxers and fighting, man, but I don't want to see anybody treated unfairly, bro. That's corny. That's not what I watch boxing for. And it's so blatant that, you know, you can't even hide it. Like I said, I'm not advocating for you to like Devin Haney shit. I could care less. They're not paying me. You know, and like I said, I'm a Tank guy. You know, I think Tank beats them all. But I don't want to see Tank and Shakur fight in a small ring because I want to give Tank the advantage. No, that defeats the purpose. The whole point is I want to see these fighters excel and I want to see them do great things. And it's easier to do great things when it's in your favor. Like, I don't want to see Tank and Shakur in a small ring. I want to see them fight normally. Whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to see how their contrasting styles play against each other. I don't want to see Devin Haney and Tank in a small ring. I want to see them in the ring, and I think Tank's still going to cut the ring off because Tank is a beast. That's what he does. He cuts the ring off. Ask Frank Martin. Saul Canelo Alvarez, that's what he does. He's a beast. He cuts the ring off. Ask Billy Joe Saunders. So when he did not cut the ring off against William Skull, of course, I was mad at William Skull because that fight was trash. But I was also mad at Canelo because I think Canelo could cut the ring off and I seen him do it before. And his effort was trash.
Know your fucking place, trash.
It is what it is. Shout out to, but I'm not going to turn my back on Cinnamon because he didn't, you know what I'm saying, because he had one bad performance. But I'm also not going to coddle him and be like, oh, okay, well, he needs a smaller ring because to make it more advantageous for him to fight. No, you got to go out there and fight, bro. You got to go and cut off the ring like you used to do. You know what I'm saying? And if Shakur beats Tank by moving around excessively, well then, hey, man, maybe Tank can't cut off the ring that well against Shakur. It is what it is. We got to see it, bro. That's what makes it great. Y'all want to see greatness. Y'all don't want to see greatness. Y'all just want, when I say y'all, I'm not talking about anybody individually in the chat or specifically. People don't want to see greatness. They want to see the fighter that they like be great by any means necessary. And even if it means handicapping their opponents. That's crazy. That's crazy. I can't relate to that. He said, just imagine the noise if it was Shakur that wanted the... Come on now, Clarence. If it was Shakur that wanted the ring to be smaller, oh, boy. Oh, boy. Clarence. Oh, my goodness. If Shakur wanted the ring to be... if Shakur didn't want the ring to be small, if he wanted the ring to be larger, oh, boy. If it wasn't Hamzah Sheeraz, oh, boy. Oh, my... Can you imagine if Edgar Berlanga, if it was Zepeda that typed that? Because Edgar Berlanga said, what happened to the small ring, Turkey? Can you imagine if that was William Zepeda saying what happened to the small ring and implying that his opponent, Shakur Stevenson, didn't want the small ring? Oh, boy. Oh, he had been called all types of ducks, all type of coward, all type of punks. Oh, boy. And once again, like I said, I'm more of a Tank fan than I am a Shakur fan, but I'm more of a boxing fan than I am of over all those guys. No disrespect, but shoot, my favorite boxer is Jermaine Taylor. When's the last time you seen Jermaine Taylor fight? So basically, what I'm saying is I can have a favorite boxer, but I'm still gonna watch boxing when they're done boxing. Floyd Mayweather's my favorite fighter. He hasn't boxed in a long time. I'm still watching boxing. Manny Pacquiao, well, he's about to box again, but he hasn't boxed in a long time. I'm still watching boxing, so I don't like any boxer more than I like boxing. You feel me? So. You know, but everybody can't relate to that. Shakur doesn't move around like Skull. He just able to jump back like a cat. Yeah, facts, he does it, but that's not the point. We're not. But what I'm saying is that we're not judging the type of fouls. We're saying that he is, he has that stigma, right? Yeah, I agree that Shakur. No one's saying that Shakur. Well, at least nobody else. I'm not saying that. I can't speak for everybody else. I'm not saying that Shakur fights like Skull. Hell, I mean, but they move excessively. So when you see them trying to make the ring smaller, it's because they're trying to keep Shakur from moving. But what Shakur does is he's in and out. He's a master of range manipulation, meaning he goes in and out and he makes you feel like you're closer than what you are. Like I said, to me, his style is like, to sum it up, is like the rear view mirror, right? Objects are closer than they appear. That's what Shakur is. He's closer Sorry, he's the opposite of a rearview mirror. He's further than he appears. You feel like he's closer, and you try to swing, and he counters you because you're out of range, right? So he's out of range. So there's multiple ways to employ movement, right? You could do it like Devin Haney or like William Skull. You could also do it like Shakur. You could also do it like Guillermo Rigondeaux, you know what I'm saying? Or Lomachenko. So they all do it slightly different, but the fact is that they are seen as excessive movers. So when you try to make the ring smaller, it's to limit their movement and limit their game plan. That's what we're saying. We're not saying that they do the same tactics. Yeah, he's elusive. Facts. Only range that matters is range. And wait, what? Only range that matters is range and end of engagement. Oh, okay. I see what you meant to say. He said only range that matters is range and engagement. He said that ring size doesn't change the reach of the fighters, foot position, and their skills in the pocket to catch, shoot, slip, parry, pin, peel, counter. I agree 1,000%. Canelo and John Ryder fought in a small ring. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so let me be very clear too. Ring size, if you know boxing, shout out to my guy Flatbush, right? So if you know boxing and stuff like that, you know that these are things that are negotiated. If they negotiate a small ring, let them negotiate a small ring. But after I think that it's wrong for an event planner to forcefully impose a ring based on what he wants to see. No, that's something that's negotiated always. So if Shakur and Zepeda are in negotiations and they negotiate and agree upon a ring size, that's cool. I'm not saying that you can't have a small ring. I'm not saying that you have to have a big ring. I'm saying don't take it out the hands of the fighters. Because that's where it normally was, traditionally was. And it's not an issue. It's just an issue now because you try to make it seem like you want to make boxing fair, but you really just want to make it unfair and give certain fighters that you like or dislike an advantage or disadvantage, respectively. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, ring sizes are negotiated, just like glove size is negotiated. Ring size is negotiated. Who comes out first is negotiated. A lot of things are negotiated. You know what I'm saying? Blue corner, red corner. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Fuser said, as I said before, Brian Norman versus Saki is the same result in a bigger ring. All of Tate's KOs are the same result no matter the ring. Exactly. And that's the thing, you know, because we'll see, like I was having a discussion with this other guy who's a Tank fan, and I'm like I said, I like Tank too. I'm just not delusional. You know, I'm not one of those overzealous what I consider goofy fans, right? You know, he was telling me that, you know, essentially was saying that it's hard to cut the ring off. Of course it's hard to cut the ring off. Duh, no one's saying it's easy. These are top athletes. Nothing they do is easy. Just because LeBron James dunks a basketball, it makes it look easy. Your goofy common ass can't go out there and dunk. Nothing is easy at the highest level. Not whether you talk about athletics or you talk about academics or you talk about corporate world, whatever you're talking about. You talk about innovation. Nothing is easy at the highest level. So, and contrarily, so my point is that cutting off the ring is not easy, and neither is being evasive. So whether you're Shakur Stevenson and employing evasive style, whether it's going in and out, or you're Devin Haney and you're circling around the ring for 12 rings, that's not easy either. But because you don't like it, you're trying to make it seem like it's simplistic. Oh, they're just running. That's so easy. You couldn't get in there and run away from Jose Carlos Ramirez for 12 rounds in the confines of a squared circle, in the confines of the boxing ring. You couldn't do it. So why are you saying, oh, why don't you try to cut off the ring? It's not easy. Bitch, why don't you try to run around the ring from a professional fighter? That's not easy either. But you don't consider that because you're so focused on the fighters that you like and dislike. You're emotional. You know what I'm saying? I might talk with passion and conviction, but I don't speak and critique and make assessments with emotion. I can't relate to that. You feel what I'm saying? I apply the logic regardless. So people try to make it seem like, oh yeah, well, running is easy. You couldn't do it. You couldn't run away from somebody in a street fight. You'll get binked and boomed and slammed and some more stuff. You would never engage in a fight because you're probably a punk pussy anyway. You probably never would have busted a grape in a food fight. So that's beyond the point. But my point is that people make it seem like, oh, these guys are just running on an infinite plane and they could just run anywhere and they're running fast like Usain Bolt. Have you ever tried to outrun somebody going backwards or side to side and they're coming forward? First of all, there's not too many people on earth that could outrun somebody going backwards or side to side when the person that's chasing them is coming forward. So that's already kills your argument. So basically what I'm saying is that they're not just running. They're moving around and countering the movement of the person coming forward. But you're trying to minimize it because you don't like it. Get out your feelings, bro. There's a lot of things I don't like. That don't mean it's not good because you don't like it. It just means that it doesn't appeal to your sensibilities. I don't like flute music. Does that mean flute music is not music because I don't like it? No, it just means that I won't pay for the flute concert. I won't buy the flute album. But that doesn't mean that the flute musician shouldn't be able to play music or shouldn't consider themselves a musician because I don't like it. What? But that's basically what you're saying. You're saying because somebody employs a boxing style that you don't like, it's no longer boxing. You entitled, selfish little bitch. That's what it is. That means that you probably are never accomplished anything in your life, so you're trying to diminish the significance of what other people are doing. You don't have to like everything for it to be good. There's a lot of things I don't like. There's some colors I don't like. Does that mean that they're not colors? I don't like chihuahuas. You know what I'm saying? I like big dogs. You know what I'm saying? I like pit bulls and Rottweilers and German Shepherds. That doesn't mean that a chihuahua is not a dog because I don't like it. It's still a dog. It still barks. Come on, bro. I'm just not going to buy a chihuahua if I can get a cane corso. You see what I'm saying? So if you don't like Shakur Stevenson, that doesn't mean that he shouldn't box anymore or you should change the way he boxes. Just don't watch Shakur Stevenson fight. Simple. And then, you know what? What will happen contrarily, what will happen, he will no longer be a star. And then you won't see him as much because people won't be buying or viewing their fights. But it's the opposite. You do view Shakur Stevenson's fights. You do view Devin Haney's fights. You do view Lomachenko's fights. It's just when you view it, you're mad because you want to see them lose and they don't lose. So now you're trying to make it seem like it's something else. Fuck out of here. Chill. I got to be. Let me find out my boy got a wiener noodle. My boy said you got a mini poodle, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with a small dog. I just like big dogs. You know what I'm talking about? You know, at the end of the day, if these fighters want that superstar status and want to attract people out those outside of fans of boxing, they have to make it exciting. This is the same for every sport. No, you have to control what you can control. And if you don't want to watch them, don't watch them. Who says that? So let me make this say. Let me ask you: is Shakur not a star? No, it's not about them being a star. Jin Sasaki fights. He's very interesting. Did you watch Jin Sasaki tonight? Did you watch Jin Sasaki versus Brian Norman? I bet you didn't. We did. So it's not about having an exciting style. It's about being a star. Shakur Stevenson is a star. That's why you talk about him. That's why you make it seem like, oh, Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney and fighters that you don't like are the only ones that employ these type of tactics. There's a lot of fighters that try to outbox. William Skull does it too. But you didn't know William Skull before that. So don't make it seem like, oh, it's the fighters and their stardom that's in question. No, it's your sensibilities that's in question and your selfishness. If you don't want to watch it, you control it. Don't watch it. Like you said, it's the same for every sport. It's the same for every sport. You don't want to watch the Spurs play fundamental basketball? Don't watch it. And guess what was the bigger market? Miami was a bigger market because they were more exciting. So you're right. It's like every sport. But don't complain that the Spurs don't play the Miami style or don't play the Los Angeles Clipper Lob City style and try to change Tim Duncan and try to make him Blake Griffin. That's what you're doing. That's the difference. It's one thing to not watch it. That's cool. That's a result of you having a not exciting style. You're probably going to remain a small market, but the Spurs were champions. Shakur's a champion. So he's very successful in boxing. He might not be successful in your head, but he's an undefeated champion. He's very successful. Devin Haney's an undefeated, youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era as a male. Very successful. So success is bigger than your opinion on it. You see what I'm saying? And that's the difference right there. And it's the same in every sport. There's a lot of baseball players that aren't Aaron Judge. They're not hitting home runs. They're not as popular as him because of that, consequently, but they're still baseball players. So I don't even know what that point was. That was a terrible point. Can Shakur be on pay-per-view right now? So how many boxers can be on pay-per-view? Mike Golden. There's like only 3. Canelo, Tank, and Anthony Joshua. So that means that Alexander Usyk is not a good fighter? Answer that. So that's the thing. People like you don't have discernment. Just because you're not the biggest star doesn't mean that you're not a star. Those are two different conversations. There's a lot of basketball players that aren't MVPs. That means that they're not good. So we're watching. I don't know if you watch basketball, so I can't speak for you. But if you watch basketball, TJ McConnell is doing his thing, especially last night in the finals, Game 6. He's not SGA. Does that mean he's not a good player? Because he's not an MVP or all-star caliber player? So he doesn't belong in basketball because he's not the biggest star? What are we talking? Is Pascal Siakam as big of a star as LeBron? Is he as big of a star as Steph Curry? Is he as big a star as Jokic or Luka Doncic or Giannis? What are we talking about? David Benavidez is not a pay-per-view star either, dummy. This man said David Benavidez. David Benavidez is not a pay-per-view star. So what you just killed your own argument. And I'm done talking to you. Shout out to Mike Gold. That's hey chat. This is what you gotta let people talk. You gotta let people talk because they're gonna put themselves in the corner. He just contradicted himself. He said Shakur is not a pay-per-view star and told me David Benavidez is. David Benavidez has never been on pay-per-view as a headline. So yeah, so good job. Shout out to Clone. That's what, bro. Y'all make it easy for me, baby. You make it easy. This man just said David Benavidez. I'm fucking asleep. Last time I checked, anyway, never been a pay-per-view. Exactly, Oscar. This dude, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Thomas in the back. Let me pull up my guy Thomas. Let him speak real quick. Hey, shout out to Mike Golden, man. Thank you for the terrible point and proving my point. Thank you, bro. Bivol's not a star. Exactly. He has no clue what he's talking about. There's literally only 3 pay-per-view stars. And Saul Canelo Alvarez, a face of boxing, Gervonta Tank Davis, and Anthony Joshua. Nobody else is a pay-per-view star. This man said Benavidez. This man said David Benavidez. I'm asleep. Shout out to Dave Benavidez. I like Dave Benavidez though. I like Dave Benavidez a lot. Shout out to Dave Benavidez. I like Dave Benavidez. Shout out to Dave Benavidez. He's a great fighter. Let me pull up my guy Thomas. What's good, Thomas? Oh yeah, sorry. So no, you're right, Kenyo. My bad. David Morrell and Dave Benavidez was on pay-per-view. Sorry, he has one. Sorry, I forgot about that. My fault. I apologize. My bad, Mike. You're right about that. Dave Benavidez and Dave Morrell, his last fight was on pay-per-view. Sorry, he has one. My bad. Sorry, you're right.
What's up with you, man?
My guy,
I didn't even know I was on, man. What's good with you? Hey, I want to say one thing, bro, because, you know, I'm used to the different format. I don't be up on early most days, bro. I'm up early today. Dog, these people that you talking about, I was just about to text it because I didn't know I was up in the Discord, but
yes,
they're like weird. They're weird with this energy, man. I mean, little case INNER and big case G.
I'm telling you, bro.
Bro, like the same Mickey Frickies and this vice versa that said Shakur was running, said Mickey Fricky Devin did a master class in the ring versus Ramirez. And then likewise, the same people that defending Shakur will say, oh, that Mickey Fricky ran,
right,
but Shakur boxed brilliantly. Like, this just don't be making sense, man. Like, I rock with boxers. I ain't gonna lie. And I don't root against my boxers in particular. I never have. But I root against some bullish. And a lot of these dudes be doing some bullish.
I'm telling you.
And the cold part is, like, they'll excuse it because they rock with it.
Right.
They'll say some bullish because they rock with this person or they rock with this fighter. Yo, I don't do that. I don't man fan. Right. I've never been a man fan. That's why I don't play no damn pauses of games and things like that, dog, because that shit don't ever cross my mind.
Facts.
No, that's real rap, though, Doc.
I feel that. Yeah,
it's like that time you went to the damn club and you didn't have the right damn stuff on, so you had to walk all the way back only not to get in the club.
Come on, man.
You said that just don't register with you the right way.
Right.
That don't register with me the right way. And a lot of people do that stuff. And then, like, in the process, they throw shade on motherfuckers that look like you and me. But when other niggas do the same damn thing, they hush. They don't have a problem at all with it. So what it really becomes is like, yo, why are we doing our own folks this way? And that's what I get on, because I've seen people go at other folks in chats and call them all kind of despicable names just because they rock with some nigga that they don't even know. And them niggas don't even know them too. Like, yo, I'm never going, like, in real life, you would have been, the way your fighter rolling, because a lot of people like to use the term favorite fighter, and I like to put this caveat in there. Favorite fighter is real, and it predominantly predates on all freaking 6 fan bases: Canelo, Earl Spence, Bud Crawford, Tank Davis, Kevin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson. And every nigga will cap for the other one.
Come on now.
Just because of another one. And that's just wild to me. But these people, they do this stuff for people that don't know them.
Right.
Don't have they not feeding them, they're not sheltering them. When they
Oh, we lost you, Thomas. Oh, you back now. You're back now.
Phone call, yeah.
Okay.
About that,
No, you good.
Make you figure I'm in California. I got a Iowa phone call, but niggas is calling me from Iowa like I know people. Like, yo, I already know you on some bull ish. Like these fans I'm talking about, they on some straight BS. Like they not getting nurse to health. They're not getting nothing. They're not even getting, hey man, you know what? I seen you over there riding hard for me, man. Keep up the good work, man. I rock with you. They get none of that ish. But they'll go give another nigga something and say, well, hey, you know, I just want to make it difficult for these type of fans because they always like that. So let me level that too. Right. Because a person is more popular, it may seem like it's more applied to them. Like things are more always like that. Dude, they be saying people are absolved for that shit. No, they not. They get it even worse. It's just that that's your fighter that you rock with and you don't want to hear him. Right. So I understand that. Right. So now it's like 10 times. 10 times, like that song your boy Lil Wayne said. And he came back 10 times something. It seems that way just because it's your fighter. Yep. So it seems like that Mickey Fricky is getting targeted when this nigga's getting targeted way more. But it's going to be that way because he's way bigger. He's got way more appeal. He's got way more supporters. He's got way more haters. So, yeah, it's always going to look that way. Exactly. But the bottom line is they all getting the same treatment. Right. They're all doing the same thing. It's a motherfucking politic going on within the sport. These motherfuckers that put up the fights. Sorry about that, dog. Let me slow that back, man. These people that put up the fights.
No, man. Talk how you talk, man. You know what I'm saying? We uncut, man. Raw and uncut, man.
Nah. Yo, but we gotta be respectful, man. I respect the both. So let me walk that back, man. For your platform, I apologize for that. These people that spend their bread so that we can see a fight, we're not coming to the people that's buying the pay-per-views are not coming to see them spend their money to do this, not see them promote anything. We're coming to see what they are promoting. We're seeing the ring, the action in the ring, no doubt, but they're putting up the bread. So if they're putting up their bread, yeah, they're going to dictate the way to go. Real rap. They're going to do that. That's in real life. If you was going there and you wanted somebody to prepare you a food and you decided that I'm going to spend my money for you to prepare me this food, you're not going to let these Mickey Frickies that's cooking the food just do whatever the fudge they want to do. Exactly. You're going to have them do exactly what you're commissioning them to do. So like, these are the people that's really at play for all the stuff that's happening. It's a reason why Shakur walking out on Bob with a belt never will happen again. None of his fighters that have
Exactly.
My bad, dog. I think I need to.
About 10 more seconds. Yeah. Go to another.
Yeah, I'm up out of here, dog, because it's mind-boggling that people will see stuff. They can't see it for what it is unless it's on someone else and it's not on their fight.
Exactly.
Can't see for looking. And on that, I'm up out of there. I ain't going to take no more of your time.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you coming through. That's Mr. Thomas Hill in the building, man. Dope call. Always calling in. Always dropping logic. Always dropping dope takes, man. I love to play that on him because my boy, Mr. Thomas, he be talking, bro. Loquacious, but I love it though. I need that because I like to hear other people's perspective. So anybody want to call in, get their perspective, please call in. Shout out to my guy Pugilism. He said Bud Canelo moved more units around the Mount Maypac sold. Shout out to Kenyo, excuse me. Bud fought Errol Spence on pay-per-view. Yes, that's different. Errol Spence was a pay-per-view star. Bud is not a pay-per-view star. You know what I'm saying? But even if he is, it doesn't matter. My point is that let's go back to the Shakur, right? And I think somebody said David Benavidez. David Benavidez and David Morrell's on PBC. Shakur Stevenson, I'm so glad. I think Kenyo brought up Tio. Teofimo is not a pay-per-view star because he hasn't been on there yet. You know, you could even argue that Devin Haney and people say Ryan Garcia is a pay-per-view star. No, Ryan Garcia did 2 pay-per-view events. One was with Gervonta Tank Davis, who's a pay-per-view star. Tank is pay-per-view with Frank Martin. And Ryan, no matter who Tank fights, is pay-per-view, you know. And then also Ryan Garcia's other one was Devin Haney. So of course it's going to be pay-per-view. So it's about the outfit, you know what I'm saying? So when you say David Benavidez is a pay-per-view star, no, David Benavidez has been on pay-per-view one time and he's with PBC. So let's go back to the Teofimo one, right? Shakur Stevenson for being a runner, like the other person was trying to say, right? And Shakur Stevenson's not a star. Who had the highest viewed fight on ESPN? It wasn't Teofimo. So that means Teofimo's not a star, right? Who else fought on ESPN recently? It wasn't Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue's not a star. It was Shakur Stevenson. Go look it up. It's documented. Shakur Stevenson literally had the highest viewed fight on ESPN. The runner, the guy that you're saying is not a star. So would he be a bigger star? Yes. But to say that he's not a star because he's not as big of a star as Canelo or he's not on pay-per-view, it might be the promotion. Terrence Bud Crawford's last fight against Israel Madrimov, that was with Turki Alalshikh. You know, how many guys on that card could have been a headline of their own card? But sometimes it's different. You feel me? So even with Shakur Stevenson, he was on. Like I said, I'm not a big Shakur Stevenson fan, but it is what it is. He just fought a late replacement in Josh Padley, right? He was on the undercard of Bivol and Beterbiev. All those fights, I ain't gonna say all of them. That might be a stretch to say all of them, but a lot of the fights on that card by Turk, they could have headlined their own events. So you can't really just say, oh, well, this guy's he's not a pay-per-view star, and he is a pay-per-view star because they've been on pay-per-view and they haven't. You got to talk about the context as well. You see what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia been on pay-per-view twice, but he was on there with Gervonta Tank Davis. That means Frank Martin's a pay-per-view star because he was on there with Gervonta Tank Davis as well? I'm just asking. So everybody that fought Tank that was on pay-per-view, they're a pay-per-view star because they've been on pay-per-view? No, it matters about how the event is being packaged. You see what I'm saying? So you can say that if you want, I mean, I guess, but it depends on how you frame the conversation. Then shout out to Dave Benavidez. Dave Benavidez, I stand corrected on that. I completely forgot that his last fight against Dave Morrell was on pay-per-view. And I consider him a star. He's one of the stars. Is he a pay-per-view star? I mean, I think it's still yet to be seen, but he has been on pay-per-view. You know, it is what it is. Flyer Frequency. What's good, brethren? What's good? He said pay-per-view isn't the model in time, blanket control and oversight with legal gambling. Yeah. And at the spine for combat sports entertainment. Canelo Bud will be bigger than Maypac. Ooh, you think? I don't know about that one. You think it's gonna be bigger than Mayweather Pacquiao? It depends. Because like I said, once again, it's with why do people keep coming in and saying this? Fabulous Jada and who was the other person? Fabulous Jada came in and Midwesterner came in and said that he changed it for Sheeraz. I didn't ask you who he changed it for. I know who he changed it for. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And like I literally said that the show's been on for an hour and a half. You can't just come in and assume. I mean, you can, but you're gonna look crazy. You just come in and assume what people have been talking about for an hour and a half just because you just got in here. Why do you think I literally have Hamzah Sheeraz as a picture right there as a thumbnail? You think I don't know that? Like, come on now. Either you give yourself way too much credit or you giving me way too little. Either way, tighten up. You know what I'm talking about? So the information that you receive is not exclusive to you. I don't know everything. You know, nobody knows everything, but why would you assume that I didn't know that? That's actually the talking point that I made. So I don't know why people keep saying he changed it for Sheeraz. I mean, I've literally said that. He didn't change it for Shakur. Shakur is the one that agreed to it. Just like you know that, I know that. So I don't really understand. I mean, sometimes people be thirsty, I guess, for attention and to be right, I guess. But yeah, you're right. He didn't change it for Sheeraz. Shout out to Flyer Frequency. Filipinos love boxing. Doesn't have to be Manny fighting. And Filipino workers and also the workforce of Saudi Arabia and around the globe. USA versus Mexico is huge right now. Yeah, I mean, I think USA and Mexico is big. Of course, that's always going to be big, right? You know what I'm saying? You have the American versus Mexican, or even the Mexican versus the Englishman, or even the Englishman versus American. You know, boxing is about cultural differences and contrasting complexions, you know what I'm saying? So they always take advantage of the ethnic you could even say that they exploit it, right? I just don't know if okay, so this is what I'm saying, pugilism. You could be right. I don't know. It was yet to be seen. But the reason why I don't think it'll be bigger than Floyd and Pac is because Floyd and Pac, they were considered on an even playing field. A lot of people that like Canelo versus Bud also don't like Canelo versus Bud. You know what I'm saying? Or a lot of people, just as many people that like Canelo and Bud, I think there's an equal amount that don't like Canelo versus Bud. Like some people think it's a clown fight, it's a circus fight because of the weight disparity, right? The differential. So a lot of people think that Canelo and Crawford is just a money grab, right? So I think that a lot of people would not be interested in it because of that. A lot of people won't be interested in it because they want Canelo to be fighting Benavidez. A lot of people won't be interested in it because they want Bud to be fighting Boots or something like that. You see what I'm saying? So I think that there are a lot of people like us that are interested in it because we recognize there's two phenomenal all-time greats going in the ring against each other. But I think a lot of people won't be interested in it as well. And I disagree with it, but I don't necessarily blame him. You know, so I'm not sure it's gonna be bigger than Mayweather Pac. I don't think it should be, but it could be, yeah, because Canelo's a face of boxing. You know what I'm saying? We're in a different era, like you said, of television and broadcasting. So it could be bigger, but I don't think it's definitive that it will be bigger than Mayweather versus Pacquiao. But it could be. It could be though. To Tio, John Crow, Agonyam. Oh, that's to Tio. What that mean? I don't want to say something, George, to get me canceled. One time for George dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. But yeah, anybody want to call in and get their thoughts off? Get your thoughts off, man. You can tell me why Sheeraz. You can tell me why Sheeraz is Shakur. It's not the Shakur that didn't want it. It's Sheeraz. I don't know why you think that other people don't know that. I said, what does that mean, George? Don't get me in trouble. He said the Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor boxing match generated 4.3. Yeah, it generated a lot. This figure made it the second highest buy rated pay-per-view history. It generated a lot. There's a lot of nationalism behind this fight. You're right. There is. You know, America, and plus, like I said, you know, you got the American versus the Mexican, the brown guy versus the black guy. So that's always going to build intrigue. And there's a lot of Maypac followers following what's going on between Bud and USA best and Canelo as Mexico's best. Yeah, it's a huge fight. Okay, it's one thing to say it's a huge fight and to say it's the hugest fight. You know, those are two different things. I don't like the fight if I'm honest. Yeah, Oscar doesn't really like the fight. So I think there's a lot of people that don't really like the fight, you know. So I'm not saying it's not a big fight. Those are saying it's not the biggest and saying it's not a big fight are two different things. I think Canelo versus Crawford is a big fight. Every fight with Canelo's essentially a big fight, you know. Even the William Skull. That's why people are so disappointed in it, because we expect to see an interesting fight when we see my boy Cinnamon. But he's a face of boxing, so it's going to be a big fight. But is it going to be the biggest fight? You're comparing it to literally the biggest fight, right? Mayweather and Pacquiao. So I don't know if it'll be the biggest fight, but it is a huge fight for sure. It's like the other guy when I said that, when he tried to say Shakur's not a star. Shakur is definitely a star. Why did we care about where Shakur signed to? You don't care about where fighters signed to. You didn't care where Anthony Yard signed to. You didn't care where Jahai Tucker signed to. But you care where Shakur signed to. Is Shakur as big of a star as Cinnamon and Tank and AJ? No, but that doesn't mean you're not a star. That's the thing. Like people they have no discretion between the top and the bottom. Like you think if you're not great that you're trash. No, not being great does not equate to trash. It's like, look at Jin Sasaki. Jin Sasaki was on an 8-fight win streak. A lot of people thought that Jin Sasaki could upset Brian Norman, but now all of a sudden he's trash because he lost to Brian Norman, and it's only a second loss, and he's only 23 years old. And his other loss came to another undefeated guy in Andy Hiroka. So I mean, it is what it is, man. Crunch Time said Canelo versus Bud is a fight nobody called for. I'll watch it because I'm a boxing fan. But I could exactly, and that's my point. Shout out to Crunch Time. Look what Crunch Time just said. Pugilism. He said Canelo versus Bud is a fight that nobody called for.
Yeah.
I will watch it because I'm a boxing fan.
Yeah.
But it could have done without it.
Yeah.
That's the point. That's the point I'm saying. You know, there's a lot of people that share that sentiment. I don't share that sentiment. I want to see it. But if it was up to me too, I've said this before, I would rather see Bud go for undisputed at 154, and I'd rather see Cinnamon fight Benavidez. But Benavidez is no longer at 168, so I'm cool. You know, he's talking about potentially going to cruiserweight, so I'm cool without it. But and I find the value in Bud versus Canelo because these are two phenomenal all-time great talents. You know, Bud is 2-time undisputed and undefeated while doing it in 41 fights. Canelo is 67 fights in, 63 wins, 2 losses, and 2 draws. So I want to see this fight. Is great, but there's a lot of people like Crunch Time that don't really see the significance of the fight, and he's not wrong for that. You know, but with Manny Pacquiao and Mayweather, there were 2 guys at the top of their divisions in the same division or close to, so that's why that had more intrigue. A lot of people looked at that as a fight of the century for real. I feel like they're kicking Bud versus Canelo as a fight of the century, but they just told us that Usyk and Tyson Fury was a fight of the century, and then before that they told us Spence and Crawford was a fight of the century. So you know what I'm saying, they're kind of pushing every big event is Riyadh season, pushing that fight of the century stuff on us, which is cool. You know, you got to do it for marketing, but it doesn't change the fact that Bud versus Canelo is not a fight that a lot of people were expecting, anticipating, or even asking for. So yeah, he said, does Canelo retire after the Bud fight? I don't think so. But I think they both could retire after the fight, but I don't think so. If he loses, maybe, but I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested in it because I'm a boxing fan, but I don't think that they're the most intriguing fight for each other. You see what I'm saying? I don't think so, at least. Shout out to my guy, Boxer 2-4 in the building, man. Boxer with 2-4 in the building. Big member in the building. He said fake news. What we talking about fake news, bro? What's fake news? Hold on, let me get you right with the fake news. He said that's fake news, fake news. Somebody call in, man. The lines are open. Somebody call in. What's the fake news?
If you out here getting fake vagina over your fake jury, reality is reality.
Shout out to my guy Thomas still in the building, man. I might pull up Thomas again. Mr. Thomas, if nobody else wants to call in. I just try to get everybody an opportunity to talk, man. Don't feel, I know I talk with passion and I talk, you know, some people might feel it's aggressive, but I just be excited. That's all. So if you call in, you're definitely not gonna, it doesn't have to be a debate. If you are the other guy that thought Shakur's not a star, tell me why he's not a star. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But if you want to get in debate, that's fine too. We could debate that as well. I don't mind. But yeah, he said that's like saying Bud is a star. Exactly. That's my point, Kenya. So I understand. Don't get me wrong. So no matter, regardless how I approached it, I do see what he said. I agree with the dude that Shakur's not the biggest star, but don't confuse not being the biggest star with not being a star at all. The fact that we cared about where he was going to sign is indicative of him being a star. It's a testament to him being a star. You know what I'm saying? I even brought up the Perturbian and Bivol. I brought that up too, if I didn't make that clear, is that Shakur Stevenson could have been a headline. It's just that he was on a Riyadh season card where it's a compilation of stars, and they're going to put it accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Dubois headlined an event before with Anthony Joshua. You see what I'm saying? And he was on the undercard of Bivol and Beterbiev too, because that card is to prioritize what we considered a big fight between two guys at the light heavyweight division. But Beterbiev and Bivol aren't bigger stars than Anthony Joshua or Shakur Stevenson, or I mean, so not Anthony Joshua. He wasn't on that card. Who was it? It was Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker. I want to say that Bivol and Beterbiev are the biggest stars, but they headlined that event because that was the biggest fight. It was for undisputed between the two best at the light heavyweight division. Those are two different things. Those are two different things. You know what I'm saying? So we can't say, oh, I mean, you can, but you could also be wrong. It's like, you know, people say that's like I don't like Teofimo. He's a racist, pompous asshole, and he's ignorant, right? But to say he's not a star, you're crazy. In boxing, he's a star. He's never been on pay-per-view. And the reason why I brought up Ryan Garcia, I don't like him either. He's a racist cheater, but he's a star. But you can't say he's a star. He's a bigger star than others because he's been on pay-per-view twice. But when you realize that his pay-per-view, he wasn't on pay-per-view when he fought Oscar Duarte. He wasn't on pay-per-view when he fought Javier Fortuna. He wasn't on pay-per-view when he fought Luke Campbell. He was on pay-per-view when he fought Gervonta Tank Davis. Same reason why Frank Martin was on pay-per-view. And everybody else at Tank fights. Lamont Roach and everybody else. Are they pay-per-view stars because they were on pay-per-view with Tank Davis? I think the answer would be a fat-ass emphatic no. And the other person that Ryan Garcia was on pay-per-view with is because he was with Devin Haney. And Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia together make a pay-per-view fight. Separately, they don't. Go look at their other fights. But together, they do. So David Benavidez and David Morrell together, they made a pay-per-view fight, and it's on PBC, who they do big cards. You see what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Is Caleb Plant a pay-per-view star because he's been in the ring with Canelo? No. But that doesn't mean he's not a star. Caleb Plant is definitely a star. So, you know, people try to say things and take it out of context to make their point instead of saying instead of addressing the broad scope of it and addressing it holistically. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you could say he's a star because he's been on there one time. Shout out to David Benavidez. I'm not gang banging against that. I think David Benavidez is a star. It's not the point. But to try to say he's a bigger star than Shakur because he had one pay-per-view fight with David Morrell, I think that's disingenuous and not telling the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Because Shakur Stevenson has the most viewed fight on ESPN. So that's indicative of him being a star, despite him being a runner. You know what I'm saying? So that's the point that we were making. He tried to make it seem like, oh, you can't be a runner and not be a star. Even somebody said that Devin Haney is, the fact that we even say that Devin Haney is a runner. Devin Haney had one fight where he quote unquote ran. I wouldn't even call him a runner. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not a big Devin Haney fan, but to call him a runner because he was evasive one time against Jose Carlos Ramirez in his last fight, that doesn't erase the rest of his fights. That doesn't succumb or supplant the totality of his career. Didn't Oscar De La Hoya run from Tito Trinidad? Go watch that fight. He ran the whole time. Does that mean Oscar De La Hoya is a career runner? No, but he has an instance where he decided to be more evasive against a bigger puncher in Felix Trinidad, right? That's what Devin Haney did. In fact, if he would have ran from Ryan Garcia, he probably would have beat him too. But it's funny how we just, like I said, it's a smear campaign for Devin Haney, and that's what I do not rock with. Shout out to my guy Oscar dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter.
These biscuits.
He said, how many centuries are in the century? Apparently a lot, because we had about 4 or 5 fights of the centuries in the span of 3 years. You know what I'm saying? Centuries, 100 years. We had Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight of the century. Usyk and Fury fight of the century. Bivol and Beterbiev fight of the century. And now we have Canelo and Crawford fight of the century. So apparently a lot. I think Plant and Charlo is a big pay-per-view fight too. I don't think so anymore. Because obviously not Charlo, but Caleb Plant just got upset by Armando Resendez. Shout out to him. I think that's a pay-per-view fight as well. If Plant could get back on the winning side, you know what I'm saying? Plant's one of my favorite fighters as well, but he was upset. You know what I'm saying? He was on the wrong side of an upset. But yeah, I think that could be a pay-per-view fight as well. You be aggressive and wrong. You was wrong about Benavidez. Just shut your ass up. It's man Chloe. I might be aggressive and wrong. I be aggressive and right. You know what I'm saying? The point wasn't about him being our pay-per-view. The point was about him. Was about people being a star regardless of being on pay-per-view. My point is that you don't have to be on pay-per-view to be a star. And I stand on that. That was the point. I did make a mistake and say Benavidez never been on pay-per-view. I forgot that his last fight was on pay-per-view. But is he a pay-per-view star because he's been on pay-per-view one time? And that's why I brought up the other examples of other fighters being on pay-per-view. That's like saying Caleb Plant is a pay-per-view star because he's been on pay-per-view with Canelo. You know what I'm saying? Now, Canelo was a bigger star. He made it. And I would say that David Benavidez is the guy that made that a pay-per-view fight. You know what I'm saying? But his fight against Alexander Vazdik wasn't on pay-per-view. Matter of fact, he wasn't even the headline, right? I think that fight was on the undercard of Tank and Frank Martin. But that doesn't mean that he's not a star because he's on the undercard. And it doesn't mean that he is a pay-per-view star because he had one pay-per-view. To become a pay-per-view star, you have to have multiple, you know what I'm saying? And what's indicative of you being a pay-per-view star, the difference between Canelo and Tank stardom and Anthony Joshua is no matter who they fight, it's going to be a sellout fight because of who they are, not because of who they're paired with. That's the difference that I was making, you know what I'm saying? But I did misspeak that I accidentally said Benavidez never been on pay-per-view. He has. He's been on one time his last fight. So I was mistaken about that. He said Thomas, he regular. He regular now. No more leg. Come on, man. Don't do my boy Caleb Plant like that, man. Nah, my boy Resendez knocked the star power out of Plant. He regular. Don't do my boy Caleb. See how y'all be waiting for people to have their downfall, man. Get off my boy Caleb Plant, man. I'm gonna take another call, man, and then we gonna see how it go. We got my guy Clone in there. I'm gonna take this call from Clone. Let Clone talk his. Oh Lord, we got Clone. Oh Lord. Oh, we got Clone in here, man. Oh my gosh, man. Not Clone, bro. Anybody else want to call up, bro? Anybody else, man? We usually give members a priority, but anybody else want to call up, bro? Please. Not Clone, man. Oh my gosh, man. Not Clone, bro. Anybody but Clone. Anybody else want to call in, man? Don't forget to smack that like button, man. We have all these mods. I ain't see nobody remind people to smack that like button. All these mods, you see what I'm saying? I don't even know why y'all got a wrench, man. No, I'm just joking. Shout out to all my mods, man. One time for my mods. I ain't see nobody remind anybody to smack that like button. In fact, I've only seen my guy Oscar tell people to smack the like button. Shout out to my guy Oscar, man. Don't forget to smack that like button if you haven't done so already. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull up my guy Clone. Oh Lord, here we go. Here we go with the nonsense, man. Oh Lord. Yeah, we definitely putting on the. I'm about to start the clock right now. I'm about to start the clock right now. Before he even get in here, I'm gonna start the clock. Oh Lord. Yeah, I'm about to start the clock before he even start. Yo, what's good? What's good, Clone? My brother, man. What's good, bro? I couldn't wait for you to join the call, man. What's good, bro? How you doing, bro? I couldn't wait for my guy Clone to join the call, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to you all day, man. Join the call, man. What's good, bro?
Yo, Doc, what's good, bro?
Yeah, what's good, man?
Hey, I was telling you to pull up me and Thomas. Thomas was breaking something down to me.
Nah, bro. What you got to say, man?
I got to say, first off, you be wrong all the time. You know this.
What I was wrong about, bro? Tell me, bro. Talk to me, bro.
And anyway, Mike Golden was cooking you, so you couldn't handle it. He had you on the ropes. He proved to you was wrong because Benavidez was on the pay-per-view. You was like, damn.
I ain't gonna lie. I forgot he was on pay-per-view that one time. I ain't gonna lie. I did forget.
But I would say this though, just playing devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
like I kind of see what Golden was initially trying to say. I don't think he was really saying that Shakur is not a star. I think he was saying that he's just not a popular fighter. But I think Shakur is a star, but I don't think he's as popular as the other fighters just because of his fighting style. Maybe that's where he was going with it.
I see what he was trying to say as well, but you got to articulate that. And even that is wrong. No disrespect to you, Chloe, but he's not a popular fighter. He is a popular fighter. He's not a liked fighter. Say that.
Yeah.
He definitely popular. That's why we talk about him so much. You know, he got all types of nicknames.
You're right.
Yeah. So he might not be liked, and I agree with him. That's what he was trying to say. Right. So I agree what he was trying to say, that a style will be more engaging. Yes, but once again, the point is not. He tried to take it to seem like you can't be a star unless you are engaging, and that's not true, because that's my rebuttal was that he is a star and he doesn't have knockouts. Same with Devin Haney. He doesn't have. Same with Vasily Lomachenko. He didn't have a large amount of knockouts. You know what I'm saying? Same with we see Beterbiev, we see Bivol. Beterbiev has a lot of knockouts. He's not exactly a big star. You see what I'm saying? Gary Hunter Russell had 100% KO ratio until he lost to Alberto Puello. He's not a huge star. So what I'm saying is being engaging doesn't translate to stardom, and not being engaging doesn't translate to no stardom. You know what I'm saying? So yes, of course, it would behoove you to be more popular, because that's how you probably get like Tank. That's how you probably get like Canelo. But Floyd Mayweather wasn't a big knockout artist either. He was the biggest star. So people try to conflate things because they don't like something, so they try to demonize it and dismiss it. And they'll go to any extent. That's the point that I'm making. So he tried to drive a narrative and make it seem like, oh, Shakur is not a star because he doesn't fight like this and that. Well, no, he is a star. He might not be likable. You might not want to see him, but you still see him because he was the most viewed fight on ESPN. Facts. Look it up. It's documented. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that it wouldn't behoove him to have more knockouts. Of course, he'll probably get talked trash about less. He'll probably won't be called a runner and stuff like that. And he might be turned into a bigger star. But to say that he's not a star, that's just a straight up lie. Yeah,
he's definitely a star. I feel like sometimes a lot of these guys, like a Haney, a Shakur, sometimes I feel like they also are not liked as much, as because they're not fighting as many people as the casual people would know as well.
That part, I agree. So
it's like you find the Barbosa, which is still a good fight, but it's not the Garcia rematch, which I don't think Garcia deserves a rematch anyway. But are you not fighting Shakur like you should have fought him when you initially offered that fight?
You talking about Tio or Devin right now? Sorry. You meant
Devin.
Oh, so you meant Ramirez. Tio fought Barbosa.
Yeah, Ramirez. Yeah, Ramirez. So it's like you're not fighting the guys that people will want to see. So agreed. I think that's another reason why these guys are not as liked as much.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that to a certain extent as well, because I don't think people liked, once again, we're going to, like you said, they're definitely stars, but people, I think that's part of the reason, obviously the complexion and the ethnicity and, you know, with Devin Haney being a black guy, but I think it's even, I don't think it's solely just that either though. I think it's because people are waiting for a reason to talk trash about him. Like, I think the same thing could happen to Terrence Bud Crawford. It's just that he hasn't lost yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's because you're independent. You got to understand that Devin Haney doesn't have a Oscar De La Hoya. He doesn't have a Bob Arum or Eddie Hearn pushing him. You know what I'm saying? He's independent.
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah, so once he loses, boom, you see Eddie Hearn dropped him like it was hot. You know what I'm saying? No one's going to your back like that. And because he's independent and he has Bill Haney, people don't like Bill Haney, but Bill Haney's playing the job of a promoter and people dismiss that. So it's like, okay, bet when he loses, I already don't like him. Now I could really go on it, you know what I'm saying, be on his head top. Because I already don't like him, and now I can talk about him being a bad father and all this other stuff and all this other nonsense, you know what I'm saying, which doesn't have much to do with boxing. So it's their easy target. You know, easier target now. And Eddie Hearn and Matchroom, they're not going to come to your back because you're not their fighter. You're independent. So you don't have a big machine behind you trying to tell people, okay, well, no, you know, this guy's on PEDs, it matters, you know what I'm saying? Or this guy's been fighting and he has all these accomplishments, he's still a good fighter, you know? Nobody even cares to try to defend you because it's not in their best interest, it's not in their interest at all, you're not their fighter.
So you're saying that sometimes these guys are guys like Haney and Crawford, Shakur, guys that's like majority independent are product of a smear campaign that if they lose,
I
they're
think
going
so.
directly
Yeah.
to being trash.
Well, you know what's crazy? I don't think it will happen to
Or they
Shakur like
ducking.
this though. I don't think Shakur, because Shakur, he has Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? Well, right now, you know what I'm saying, he has Eddie Hearn. He's with Matchroom, so you know I think you're gonna protect your guy. It's like with Oscar De La Hoya. You think Oscar De La Hoya? Look what Oscar De La Hoya just did. He just tried to snitch essentially and talk trash about Jaime Munguia for cheating. But Oscar De La Hoya, when Ryan Garcia was his fighter, he just told us PEDs don't matter like that. But then he's
sure
telling me
did.
that Eddie Reynoso should be punished and investigated because he has another cheater on his roster. In fact, the same guy that's a cheater was formerly on Oscar De La Hoya's roster. So when it's in their best interest, they will say things even if it's contradictory. You know what I'm saying? He just told us. I mean, even look what Conor Benn and Chris Eubank, right? When they were fighting, Oscar De La Hoya told us that 1 pound that Chris Eubank didn't take off made the big difference. But then he told us that the 3 pounds of Ryan Garcia Devin Haney didn't matter. And then I'm so glad that one interviewer asked him about it on the spot, and he started stuttering like gosh dang Joe. Was that also stutter? He started stuttering, bro. Yeah, I could tell you're lying because when you were replying, stutter, he was stuttering all over the place because he knew he messed up. But people don't call people out on these things because, you know. So yeah, it's just that Devin Haney, and like I said, I'm not a big Devin Haney fan, but that's the risk that you take when you are independent like Devin Haney or Terrence Crawford. You don't have a machine behind you, so when you mess up, it's going to be harder to bounce back, and that's what I think Devin Haney's going through. Not to mention the fact that, you know, he's a Black American, and people don't really like, not just Black, just American period. Americans don't like boxing like that. We don't like boxing like that.
That's the thing, though. He ain't really mess up. He was just a victim of a cheater.
Exactly. He didn't even mess up.
But I think the only thing that he did, I guess, wrong in public eyes is the suing thing. People did not like the suing thing.
Yep, I agree.
Which I guess I understand since he's a fighter. You just want to see him fight. You want to see him settle in the goddamn court.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand that.
Yeah, I understand it too. I disagree with it because once again, I feel like we are taking a street mentality, a hood mentality to a business. Like we just saw Frank Warren sue Chris Eubank because he called him a scumbag. He called him a name. and once again, like a lot of people don't pay attention to, and I'm not saying you, I'm just speaking in generalities now. It's like you would think that Devin Haney was a pioneer of suing boxers. No, like he's not the first person to have a lawsuit against a fighter that cheated. Steve Cunningham and Antonio Tarver, 2 black fighters, did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's and like I said with Miguel Cotto, people have a selective memory, but Miguel Cotto didn't immediately want to fight Margarito. In fact, he denied it. He said he didn't want to fight it. He just got and Bob Arum and Margarito wanted it, who were his promoters, and he turned it down multiple times. That's why the rematch didn't happen immediately. He initially didn't want it. He went on some gangster shit. Oh yeah, let me get it back. He wanted Margarito to never box again, and I don't blame him. But why are we blaming Devin Haney? You know what I'm saying? Devin Haney, even if he sued him, he didn't say I don't want to fight him. He just said I want to get some cheese too. And he deserves it because Oscar De La Hoya got paid, and why he get paid? He didn't get punched on, and that's his fighter. His fighter cheated, but he got paid. Some of the forfeiture of the purse went to Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Shower Promotions. It's crazy.
It is crazy. I just feel like if he would have just immediately wanted that rematch, like I think the steps to him really being hated, he kind of he went backwards a little bit because it's like when he was cheated. He was like, I'm gonna retire and all of that. Then he wanted to sue. It was like he didn't look like a warrior that he should have looked like. He should have been like,
that's true.
Should have waited.
I'll put you on that.
And when that sample came out, his initial statement should have been like, yo, he had to cheat to beat me. He ain't good.
I agree with you.
He got depressed.
I agree. But I will say this though. I will. Oh my bad. I mean interrupt. Sorry. Go ahead. That's your time.
Nah, I'm good. I'm fine. I'm finished.
No. I agree with you on that. But I will say this though. We got to remember as well. Like I just want to add this for context. When he first lost, he didn't make excuses. He was just like, "Hey man, I lost to a better man." You see what I'm saying?
That's true.
But when the cheating stuff came out, then of course that's when he was like. So I agree with what you said. I just want to add that part in there. It wasn't like he was like, "Oh, I lost. I'm looking for excuses." You know what I'm saying? Ryan Garcia, he lost to Rolly Romero. He still has excuses. First he lost. It was the environment. Like everybody else did fighting the environment. Then he lost. It was a crowd. You know, the lack of crowd. Then he lost. Now he hurt his hand. Now it's his shoulder. You know what I'm saying? No, it's just that you weren't on PEDs and you never won a big fight in your life. That's why you lost. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. My Discord is definitely all right. It's working now. You got it. So you got to join the it's to say waiting room. Patrick, let me know if you need help. Let me see if you're in there. I see that you're in here. It says Are you Pat Bandero? If that's you, then I see you in here. Yeah, so you just gotta wait 5 minutes before you could join because you know there'd be some trolls and stuff.
Oh, okay, you're the only one that can see the waiting room.
Yeah. I'm the only one that can see waiting room. No. They can see waiting room. I'm the only one that can see. You can see this channel because you have a special permission. You're the only one that could jump into this channel whenever you want. I need to take that away too. You know what I'm talking about? You ain't special. But yeah, you're the only one because I made a role for this back when we were playing Tekken and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy my boy Clone. Clone funny as hell, man. I ain't gonna lie. I love what Clone with the Discord, bro.
I don't see nobody in the waiting room though. That's what I was saying.
No one's in there. Nah, no one's in there. No.
Oh, okay.
I said in the welcome. My bad. I know I be talking fast. I see he joined the Discord because he was in the welcome channel.
Oh.
Yeah, you know when it welcomes you when you first join, it gets you. But yeah, man. Pull up my guy Thomas, man. Mr. Thomas in the building, man. Appreciate you, bro. Don't forget to smack that like button, y'all. Smack that like button, man.
So you're saying, definitely smack the like button and subscribe if you're new.
Appreciate
so you're definitely saying that if you, it's a difference between being a star, being liked, and being popular.
Yes.
You're saying it should be differences between that.
Yes, and I will even emphasize it. Floyd was the biggest star. We could all agree on that, right? The face of boxing when he was boxing.
Sure.
Who was the most hated? Who was the most hated in boxing?
It was Floyd.
Right. So you don't have to be liked to be a star. You know what I'm saying? So he was also hated, and he was the biggest star. You know what I'm saying? Canelo is liked, and he's a star. But you don't. And Canelo's on pay-per-view, and he's a star. But you don't like all these things. Don't have to be true. You know what I'm saying? For something else to be true, you don't have to be a likable pay-per-view guy. And the most popular to be a star. No, Shakur's still a star because we even talked about who he's going to sign to. There's so many boxers in the world that we have no clue who they're signed to, much less care about who they're going to sign to when their deal is up. We don't that to me, that's indicative and a testament to your stardom. You don't have to like somebody to say that they're a star. Devin Haney's a star. Ryan Garcia, I don't like Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia's a star. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Is he a pay-per-view star? I mean, that's debatable. I don't think he is, but some people will say he is because he's been on pay-per-view twice. But if then you go and you look at it and analyze it, tell the whole truth. He's been on there with Gervonta Tank Davis. Frank Martin's been on pay-per-view with Gervonta Tank Davis. Lamont Roach been on pay-per-view with Gervonta Tank Davis. Hector Garcia been on pay-per-view with Gervonta Tank Davis. Are they pay-per-view stars? No, it's that Gervonta is, and they've been on there with him. You know, Caleb Plant was on pay-per-view with Canelo. Is he a pay-per-view star? No, he's been on there with him. So David Benavidez, he wasn't on pay-per-view when he fought Alexander Vazdik or Dimitri Bubba Andrade. He was on pay-per-view when he fought David Morrell. So it was a combination of the two. Even with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, it's a combination of the two. Are they pay-per-view stars by themselves? I don't know. I think that's debatable. But what's not debatable is that whether they're pay-per-view or not, they're still stars. Even David Benavidez is a star. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I stand corrected about him being on pay-per-view. I messed up on that one, his last fight. But, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that that's the only way to be a star. I mean, was Anthony Joshua, was that pay-per-view with him and Daniel Dubois? I think it was, but I'm not sure. I don't remember.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
He might not have been on pay-per-view. He may not even been a star, but that motherfucker sure did see something, though.
Come on now. And he sold out Wembley. So there's different ways to measure. It's like George Kambosos. Is he not a star? Last time I checked, he got Australia behind him. I think that's indicative of being a star. Now you anyways never been on pay-per-view. Is he not a star?
No.
Come on.
Vegas is. He wasn't a star in Vegas, so no, he's not.
That's crazy, bro. You got Running Red in the building.
I think that's how fickle we are as a fan base, bro. I think that he is a star.
Absolutely.
I think he's a star because, you know, whenever they see something of value, they always try to knock off something that has value. You know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
So because they knock off somebody because of, in a way, he gotta be a star. Now maybe he don't have to like P was saying, like, yo, he might not be a star to this degree.
Right.
But for you to be that massive of a star, you gotta have people hating on you.
Right.
They gotta plot on your downfall. Because if they doing that, then exactly.
You're doing something right.
You know you're doing something right. Like say for instance, in chats, and I know you didn't been in there and you didn't seen them. Like when people finally arrive, you got trolls up in there left and right.
Come on now.
Just for no goddamn reason at all.
No, you right about that, boy.
That's a fact though, bro. It's like and that's why you gotta what they say, a wise man told us. What do you say? If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. That's a fact. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping, brother. That's my song. I might have to who sings that song again? He's a former football player. Richie something. Rich. If you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. Yep. He ain't got no haters. He was a cornerback. I want to say for the Falcons. Don't quote me on that though. But he was definitely a cornerback in the NFL.
Don't quote you on that, but that saying is hella true though, bro. Like
Facts. That's
how you know you a ride, because people like when you ain't doing nothing, people don't worry about you. But when your ass doing major things, people got a lot to say about your ass, good, bad, or indifferent. They will say stuff about you. Yep. And that's what be killing me about people. Like, man, they'll sit there and say, man, I don't like people like that. But you are people like that.
Exactly.
You do the same stuff that you say you don't like.
Exactly.
Just be hating for no reason because you got motion.
Real rap, and then they'll catchphrase it. Oh well, you know, this people, they the biggest haters in the thing. They all they do is salt this person like this, and then you'll be up in every damn venue where you can talking about some buzz that ain't even true. Ain't ever came to be true yet.
Right.
It may be true, but it ain't even came to be true yet. But you're doing it left and right under the scope of I'm trying to illuminate folks. Take a freaking please.
Come on now.
Take a freaking please.
Right.
So yeah, it killed me, man. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I know that Ryan Garcia has a draw because that fight that he did with Tank speaks to that. But by himself, is he that? Sometimes we only shine bright because we are amongst people that shine bright too.
Come on now.
So their light shines with us, and our light shines brighter because of it. And a lot of times, we just got to recognize that. Like, we ain't no need for me to perpetrate that I'm this big draw if I know I'm really not. Hey, but at one time I was a big draw.
Right.
At one time you brought your ass to see something because of me. Yeah. And I could be fine with that, dog, because not all of us meant to lead. Not all of us meant to shine so bright, dog. That's why there's a best actor, a best supporting actor, and all that other stuff, man.
Come on now.
Sometimes you get the best supporting actor.
Some people are supposed to be bagging groceries. Everybody not supposed to be doctors.
That's
and,
great.
Lawyers. No, and the whole part about it, ain't nothing wrong with bagging groceries.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong. Let me ask you something. Just to put further the point. Is Edgar Berlanga a star or no?
Ooh.
They like Megan Thee Stallion.
That's crazy.
Stop.
Hey, he was in there twerking in the corner like Megan Thee Stallion.
Hey, he was definitely twerking. Hey, that's a good one.
Hey. I think he is. I think there's
he gotta be if he had a parade at his,
come on now. He had
a
whole parade motorcade in Puerto Rico. He's been on pay-per-view with Canelo. He's been on pay-per-view once. You see what I'm saying? So I think is he the biggest star? No. But he's headlining an event with Hamzah Sheeraz. That's a star.
Exactly.
Come on, bro.
Exactly.
Okay, actually, is Better Be It a star? Like, is he considered a star? Or is he just
I think he's a great fighter. I don't think he is a star. I think that unfortunately, that's why I think him and Bivol didn't clash before Turkey's inclusion. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a boxing star amongst boxing purists. I don't think
without doubt. Yeah, without doubt.
Yeah, sure. But I don't know. Do you think? Who do you think now I know we're in America and Berlanga is American, Puerto Rican, Puerto Rico is part of America. So I know it's kind of different, but who do you think people will recognize more if you're walking around and ask them, oh, you know Edgar Berlanga or you know Artur Beterbiev? People can't even say the man's name.
Yeah, I can't even say. I say Better Be
or Better Be It.
And then there's who stamp you as well too. You got Fat Joe stamping his ass. So, that makes it even more a little official.
You see him with the chain on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like you said, bro. Like Canelo is a star. Is he the star that Mayweather was? No.
Come on now.
There's various degrees to being a star, but so yeah. I mean, people rock with Berlanga, and some people don't like Berlanga. So he's on the way. He got them. If he just could put it together in the ring, like he could put it together on a microphone or on interviews, it would be better. Because the one thing about Floyd that you could not deny, he getting in there, he whooping ass.
Yep.
And
telling you about it.
Every single time.
Telling you about it. And I mean, like, when people say that they are like Floyd this day, that's so far from the truth. It's ridiculous. Ain't nobody fighting today.
Nobody
on his level.
Nobody.
Not at all.
It's not even close, though. It's not even close. That's
not even close. Not even close. We talking about somebody that legitimately could be in the Like the table of tables, like you got that Hall of Fame, but then you got that one table where like only certain people of the Hall of Fame sit. He literally got a seat there.
You sit at the greatest of all time table. It's not too many people at that table. It might only be just one. Just on
You
his
know what I'm
resume
saying?
alone.
You know what I'm
Resume
saying?
is
So
crazy.
it's crazy. Like I know the way he conducts himself, the way he carries himself is appalling to some folks, but like the facts are still the facts. And that's why I don't understand what people, man, like how can Shakur be running in a ring, but Devin be a masterclass and vice versa?
Vice versa. Come on. Come on
You
now.
you hating on somebody for doing something that you're rooting for and saying was so great on another dude. That's just don't make sense.
Come
And
on
we
now.
do that
All the time.
in every single facet, in us
All
in
the time.
particular.
Yep. Yes.
Us
Yes.
Yeah.
it's like the dozens. It's like the dozens. We the only people that play the dozens.
Yep.
If you remember what the dozens is, your
Only
mama
ones.
joke.
Yep.
We the only people to do that.
Only ones, bro.
We the only people to do that with the boxers.
And you know, and to add on that too, it's like shout out to Oscar. He says, if we're honest, Bivol was unknown to the masses, of course, before he fought Canelo. Facts. That's a fact. And Kenyo adds, as Richard said, it's just a star. I think he has potential. I want to say he's there yet, but that's the thing. Like Thomas said, there's different degrees of stardom, man, and that's why I was saying we need to have discretion. It's like when we watch the NBA. If you're going to be real, there's probably like 5 superstars, maybe a little bit more. And LeBron, Steph, Giannis, Jokic, Luka Doncic, whatever you want to say, right? But and they're in the MVP conversations, all-star conversations. But does that mean that Paul George is not a star? Because he's not as big of a star as those other guys, those aforementioned guys? Does that mean that, I don't know who else? That means Jason Tatum's not a star? No, brother. There's different levels of stardom. Like, you want to go to superstardom, mega stardom, little stardom, you know what I'm saying? Up and coming stardom. So there's different levels, bro. It's not just you are or bust. Like, there can only be one face of boxing, bro. Does that mean that everybody is not Canelo's not a star? No, bro. You don't have to be a pay-per-view person to be a star. That's a way that you can measure it. But you don't have to be likable. You don't have to be, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be on this promotion. There's different ways to measure. You don't have to sell out a stadium, but there's different ways to measure it. All those things help, but you don't have to do all those things simultaneously. Like, nah, bro. There's very few fighters, and like Thomas said, man, it's like we do that to ourselves, bro. Like, we shout out to, that's why I say Mexico's the best boxing. Well, I think England is the best boxing fan base, but Mexico and England they're up there, bro. Because look at the reception that Japanese boxers get every time we wake up in the morning. You think they don't care about you win or lose? They be applauding people, standing ovation. Yep. You know what I'm talking about? Like, they don't care. Of course they care. You know, of course you want to get behind the winner, but they're not throwing people away because they lost. I mean, look at Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora is about to get an interim title shot against Joseph Parker, which I think that fight is trash. But it's the fact that he's still a live dog, and he's still appreciated. Come on, Deontay Wilder lost to Tyson Fury one time, and he was trash for us. Derek Chisora has like 13 losses. He's still fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, and got cheated, though. Got cheated on many levels, and he said he was trash.
Talk to him. From the referee count to Tyson Fury sabotaging, you know what I'm talking about? That's what they say. You know what I'm talking about? Go ahead, talk to me, Oscar. I'm about to slide after I get some. I'm gonna go get some food, but talk to me, bro. No rush. I'm about to slide maybe 10 minutes.
Take your time, man. Make you wait for that food, bro. Like, you make me wait that damn wait.
My bad, bro.
Bro, I told him to pull you up. He was.
Yeah, we were telling him, like, hey,
that's crazy. And y'all snitching. That's lying and snitching is crazy. That's crazy.
It's all good. You know you my guy, dog. You my man, 50 grand. Go ahead, Oscar.
All right, man. I don't think there's such things as 4 megastars in the NBA. Or 5 megastars. There's only 2.
Talk to him.
Everybody else is just a star. Look at Doncic, star. I don't know. SGA, not even a star.
Talk to him.
He's just there.
And he's the MVP.
And they flopped the game.
Did he say he's still not a star?
And they flopped the game last night.
You know, goddamn star, man.
That's crazy.
But nah, man. Yeah, I agree with what y'all were saying. He's gonna hop in.
I appreciate it, bro.
And yeah, man. It just I agree with you. You know what's one thing you always say, dog? And I agree with you 100%. that boxing, like, it's not the fact that in America the boxing fans suck. It's just we're a fan of everything and a fan of nothing at the same time.
I like that. I
Like,
like
we're
that.
a fan of football, but then look how many people hate football. I don't like football, American football.
Me either. Go ahead though. Well, I used to like it.
Because it's all strategy, and it's just too much tactics for me.
Mm-hmm.
But then we got basketball fans, and then like we got boxing fans. So we're a fan of everything and a fan of nothing. And it's so easy for us just to say, all right, deuces, on to the next. But nah, man, it's just give him his flowers. That's what I would say. And Berlanga knocking out that bitch ass Hamzah Sheeraz.
Knock him the freak out. Put him to sleep. He got to though. I'm so glad you brought that up. He has to knock him out. He has to. I mean, he gonna lose. Decision he gonna lose. Whether he wins or not, he gonna lose. I mean, look. Hamzah didn't even lose against Carlos Adames. Hamzah didn't even lose. He managed to knock him. And then now we're not even changing the ring because Hamzah Sheeraz. Oh yeah, he got to knock him out.
Yo, the coldest part about that is it was televised live that he said you are down 2 and lost the next 3 rounds and got a draw.
Come on now. Talk to him.
That's crazy.
Very crazy. Very crazy.
Yep. Not only that, it's like I bet people, and I was thinking about this.
Hey, hold it down for me, please. I'll be right back. Go ahead.
I bet people are gonna be like, Shakur smart. He talked to the right guy to change the ring size. Like somehow, some way, it's just gonna fall on Shakur.
Well, the change in the ring size, I think it was somebody up in there. It might have been pugilism, pugilism. I think he said, like, that's not the range that really matters, man. If you know how to navigate the ring, no matter how small it is, you're going to be able to do it. The problem is, if it truly is, like the statement that people make that is true, it bore itself out last fight that we saw with on the Norman card. When Tanaka and old boy Katoba or whatever his name fought. Okay, so you had one person, both people landed, but one person just was landing some heavier stuff. And you could see it just bear itself out in the fight that, okay, if this Mickey Fricky can't hit him with something that's going to back his ass off, he's going to be in trouble. And sure enough, it was the case. But in the most part, he stood there fighting this dude. Now, if he could do what he was doing to land punches and continuously move him, maybe he don't land the punches that he's landing. And maybe he can continuously frustrate him, because you got to frustrate somebody that's got aggression like that, and that's coming with a whole lot of thunder. Because if not, then they comfortable. And once you get comfortable in anything, man, it's like hell. You could be scared to get in the pool. Once you get comfortable, you big chilling. You might not go in that deep end, but you big chilling.
Big chilling.
Yeah.
You feeling it.
Hey Patrick, did you get right, Patrick? On the Discord? Sorry. Go ahead, Thomas. My bad. Sorry to interrupt.
Nah, it was really Oscar Cook. I was just telling him what he's saying was right, though, man. And I think that with the star, though, I think Steph Curry is a star because he done changed the way people play the game.
Super.
So he gotta be one of the stars that you named.
Superstar, definitely.
Hey, give me a quick second. I'm gonna hop in the other chat and I'm gonna let Patrick talk. Let me get this solo and then we gonna all join back. Y'all can chill. I'm gonna go on the other one.
Bet.
All right, bet. Is this Patrick?
Yo, you can hear me?
My guy, yes sir, loud and clear, man. What's going on, bro? I appreciate you joining the show, man.
Nice one. Hey, happy to be here, and shout out to you to your work, man.
Thank you,
bro.
I
love it.
Thank you, bro.
You're keeping consistent, and you're keeping,
bro.
You're keeping the truth.
Thank you, bro.
And you try to stay fair. So I appreciate that, because a lot of people that just man's fan, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness, yes sir, man. I appreciate that too, man. That keeps me going, because a lot of times I'd be like, dang, man, maybe people want to hear the super biased stuff, and I'd be like, bro, I just like boxing, you know what I'm saying? So even if I like a fighter, I gotta try to be at least, try to cover it holistically and be fair, bro. But thank you for acknowledging that, though, man. That means a lot, bro. Thank you.
Hey, I just wanted to have your opinion or debate. I don't like too much the word debate, because I like to hear what I like to learn from who I'm talking with as well. You know what I'm saying?
Likewise.
Yeah. So when you talk about stars, right? I I think there's different type of stars.
Agreed.
So for me, when you're talking about like the boxing stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have like 3 names really, and you mentioned them, which are Canelo, Hank, and
AJ.
Joshua. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
However, now I'm gonna tell you something. I think you have to add 2 people in there, and they're not my favorite people, but I think you have to add them somehow. It's Jake Paul.
Facts.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it. I don't like to say that. But
right. No, you're right. You're right. You're cooking right now. Go ahead. You cooking.
Dude is selling. So I have to add him. And really, like, Pacquiao as well. He's back now. So
he's back.
We have to take him into account. Because he's the one selling that fight with
Barrios.
What's his name? Barrios. So these are guys I would say like stars. Okay?
I agree.
And the reason why I'm saying that is that, for example, I'll give you an example. My son's not watching boxing. Oh, sorry, I had to add Ryan Garcia. I'm sorry, but I have to add him.
I'm not mad at that.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna have to tell you why.
Cool.
My son doesn't watch boxing, but he knows those 6 names, bro.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whether through YouTube, whether through like all those social media, he knows those 6 names. If you tell him Jake Paul, he's gonna say, "Yeah, I know Jake Paul."
Yeah.
If you tell him like the only one he might not know is Pacquiao, because Pacquiao has been like it's been
the older types of
Yeah. If you tell him Jake Paul, you tell him Joshua, you tell him Canelo, you tell him Tank, he knows them.
Facts.
So these guys are the one that consider stars.
You're cooking
now. Among the boxing community, right? So the boxing community, one that you mentioned like Shakur,
Haney,
Caleb Plant, Haney, Theo.
Yeah,
these. That's why it's hard for me to use the word stars. I have to use the word like elite, recognized as elite boxers. So like all the word will be stars among the boxing community, because
I see
a lot of people that won't know who Theo is. A lot of people that won't know who Haney is.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So these are like elite boxers recognized. Like I would say, we could use the phrase among the reals recognized reals. These are the guys.
I like that.
So Shakur is 100% one of them.
100%.
And he's undefeated as well.
And I like that elaboration. No, I like that. My bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the part. That's the part where I have to differentiate.
Yeah.
If you say stars is the name that we said before.
Right.
If you say Shakur is a star, it's among the elite.
Okay. So may I ask you something to consider?
Yeah.
So when I agree with you 1,000% with the aforementioned stars that you named, especially even the Jake Paul, Ryan Garcia. I don't like Ryan Garcia. Jake Paul, I don't like him as a boxer. But yeah, what he's doing for women boxing and what he broke Netflix with Tyson. Of course, it's mostly Tyson, but it's also him. You got it's his promotion, right? But I will say 100%. This though, I think there's a difference between those guys that we named. They're crossover stars. See, that's like the biggest star, you know what I'm saying? And the guys like Shakur and Tio, to me, they're boxing stars. Like, I don't think that you know boxing and wouldn't know those guys. So that's what I mean by Shakur being right. So I agree with you 1,000%.
That's why I brought the words boxing community.
Right, boxing community, exactly. So I agree with you 1,000%. I agree. So when we're talking about the confines of boxing, those guys are the stars. Like we're talking about Shakur all the time, bro. We're implementing a new freaking rule. For Shakur, that's a star, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like so that's a star. That doesn't mean that he's likable. Doesn't mean that he's but it means that he's known and we talk about him and he's a topic of most conversations. You can't go a day or two, or you definitely can't go a week without talking about Jerron Boutsinis, without talking about Naya in a way, without talking about Shakur Stevenson in some capacity, whether it's good or bad. Virgil Ortiz, like these guys are, how many, I don't think people realize how many boxers, like you, Patrick, shout out to you, bro, respect. You're watching the Grand Prix right now, just like I'm watching the Grand Prix. We don't know nobody on there. They're not stars. You see what I'm saying? But the other guys that we're talking about, they're stars. Like Alexis Rocha, he's not a star. Like he's Blair the Flair Cobbs, he's not a star. He's known. You might know him. Demetrius Boo Andre, not a star. But these other guys, Dave Benavidez, we know them. We talk about. We anticipate seeing them. You know what I'm saying? When Shakur's not a main event, we talk trash about. Oh, you're not even a main event. Because he's a star, we expect him to be a main. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. And I agree with you 1,000%.
The boxing stars, like they have a lot of love, but they have also a lot of hate. So that's because that's basically what happens when you become a star. The other guys, fans of other boxers, they're gonna hate on you because you are a star. So that's why you actually is raising your your level of stardom. So this is what I'm saying. Hating a boxer doesn't make him not a star.
Thank you. That's the point I was saying. That's because the guy came here. He said that he's not a star because he doesn't fight entertaining. No, you don't like him because he's not entertaining, but he's still a star. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And
I hate him.
Go ahead.
I hate him. You increase his popularity.
Right. Thank you. The fact that we want to see Tank and Shakur fight, regardless if you pick a Tank or you pick a Shakur, that's indicative to his stardom, you know. So when that's why they call out these people. I'm not saying that Shakur is only calling out Tank because he doesn't believe he can beat him. But I'm saying that's the whole reason why Andy Cruz is calling out Keyshawn, why Keyshawn's calling out Gervonta.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because because
that's
they're trying to get their names attached to these guys that are stars to raise their own stardom. Yeah, and then also too, just to piggyback off what you said before about your son, I have a cousin, bro. My cousin, he doesn't watch boxing, but you know what fight he called me for? Jake Paul versus Tyson. He didn't call me for Tank versus Frank. He didn't call me for Canelo versus Skull or Canelo versus Berlanga or Caleb Plant versus Resent. He called me for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson because Jake Paul's a star. So I agree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, as you said, crossed over.
Yes.
Like, he knew Ryan Garcia. Like he knew Ryan Garcia before Ryan Garcia fought Tank, bro.
Right.
Because Ryan Garcia was doing his job on social media.
Right.
He was doing so many videos, so he knew him. So these guys, when they come in the boxing game,
right,
you know, as a professional and all that, they have already a fan base.
Come on now.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
And Doctor, the last thing before I go,
yes, sir.
I just want to say, like, once again, shout out to you, bro.
Man, God bless you, bro. Thank you, sir.
You know, when you were talking about Sheeraz, yeah. Listen, I totally agree with the Turkey. You know, doing this is wrong. It's a bad look on Turkey what he's doing. However, listen, I believe it's sad for Sheeraz because the boxer himself doesn't want that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The boxer himself, he wants to win as fair. He wants to be recognized.
I agree with that.
So for me, the only issue I have with this thing is that Turkey. The one to blame is Turkey and not Sheeraz, because a lot of people is going to blame Sheeraz.
I agree.
The guy to blame is Turkey.
I agree.
Sheeraz is the boxer who wants to, to prove himself, to take into the challenge, And to be honest with you, if he wasn't like someone taking challenge, he wouldn't take Berlanga because Berlanga is a dangerous fighter.
I agree. And this is the debut at 168 as well, right? Yep.
Right?
Yep. And this is his debut at 168 as well, so that's a tough fight for you.
As well, yeah.
I agree.
And Berlanga's got his experience, like his fight with Canelo. I know it's only like one fight with Canelo, but that's experience, bro.
Facts.
Like
facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that's just my point. Like we cannot blame Sheeraz. We can blame Turkey. Turkey's he did a bad job on that day when he went to see those judges. But let's keep it real with Sheeraz. Sheeraz is not the one to blame.
I agree with that.
But that's my call, bro.
With that. I agree with that, man. I appreciate your calling, man. Shout out to Patrick. Please call in more often,
man.
I'll
become a member soon, man.
Hey, man, thank you, bro. No pressure, bro. No pressure, bro. Thank you, man. Hopefully you call in more often, bro. I appreciate that. And appreciate the kind words you had, too, man. God bless you, bro.
I got you, for sure. Salute to the community, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro. Salute to you. Shout out to my guy, Patrick, man. That was a dope call right there. Patrick's first time, man. Big salute to Patrick, man. First time caller. Big member of the family, though. You know what I'm saying? He's been part of the Boxing Talk family for a couple of days now. I appreciate his input. I agree with what he said. We can't blame Hamzah. I would just add this to it, is that, and I'm not trying to, how can I say this? I'm not trying to be part of the problem, but I do want to emphasize the fairness of it, or lack of, right? If this was another fighter, we would put the fighter as part of the blame as well. For example, like when I say Virgil Ortiz, I don't think he's ducking, but when a fighter and their team say that, hey man, this fighter can't fight, we blame the fighter. So, or if he's hurt, we still blame the fighter. So with Virgil Ortiz, I'm saying, I don't think he's ducking. I do think he's hurt, but if it was the other way around, when it came to Boots, we would blame Boots and say he's ducking. So with Hamzah Sheeraz, I don't even think that this should be disclosed. I agree with Patrick 1,000%. We should not even know that the ring size is being changed. But because Turkey is so adamant about I would say even picking on certain fighters, and the boxing I would say he's adamant about picking on fighters. Let me rephrase that. Turki is adamant about appeasing the public, and the public is so infatuated and adamant about smearing certain fighters' images that Turki is coming out and saying, oh yeah, it's 18 by 18. We shouldn't know that. When do we ever know the ring size unless we actually are going out of our way to know that? The promoter doesn't tell us the ring size. The event planner doesn't tell us the ring size. But the fact that he was so adamant about trying to make it seem like, okay, bet we're gonna eliminate running from boxing, so we're gonna reduce the ring size. Well, now it backfired, because now we know that you're not gonna reduce the ring size, and the reason why you're no longer going to reduce it is because of Hamzah Sheeraz. So you just brought negative press on your ring ambassador, because now we know that it wasn't Shakur that didn't approve the change of dimensions. It wasn't who else? It wasn't David Morrell who didn't approve of the reduction of the size. We know it's Hamzah Sheeraz. And it's because Turki was so adamant about coming out and saying that, oh, it's 18 by 8. You shouldn't even disclose that. There's some things that I think don't need to be told. You know what I'm saying? The game is to be sold, not told. You know what I'm talking about? So, yeah, I agree with Patrick the whole time. We should be upset with Turki, but because we know that Hamzah Sheeraz didn't want the ring size reduced, because we know that Hamzah Sheeraz was the beneficiary of being of him revealing the points on the fight. It could have been anybody, but it was Hamzah Sheeraz. You see what I'm saying? So it's going to look bad on him, but he's right. It's not Hamzah Sheeraz. Fighters fight, judges judge, officials officiate. Event planners put on fights. You know, they planners plan and all that stuff. So I agree with what he said, but in order to remain fair, then we would get mad at other fighters. For example, we like when we get mad at fighters for being the beneficiary of a robbery, right? We always blame the fighter, like, oh yeah, well, he robbed him. No, the fighter didn't rob anybody. Even with Gervonta Tank Davis taking the knee and him not getting the points deducted, he wasn't in charge of taking the points. It's the official. But we blame Tank, right? But, oh, well, Tank cheated Lamar Roach, or Tank got away with the robbery, or Tank robbed. No, that was not Tank, right? It's like any other genre of sport. We don't expect LeBron James to call a foul on himself, or Steph Curry to call a travel on himself. So same with the boxers. Like, if the Tank took a knee, the ref should do the appropriate action and take away points. But we just say, casually speaking, and I'm guilty of this too sometimes. I try my best not to do it. I try to correct myself. But yeah, we'll be like, okay, well, Tank robbed Lamar Rose. No, it's not. Officials officiate, judges judge, and boxers box. It's like Michaela Mayer versus Natasha Jonas. It's not Natasha Jonas's fault. She was the beneficiary of a bad decision. But Michaela Mayer, if you watch that fight, Michaela Mayer beat Natasha Jonas. But it is what it is. Not Natasha Jonas's fault. It wasn't Hobson Casesau's fault that he robbed Oshaki Foster. But we're gonna say that, right? It was a judge's fault. So yeah, so same with Hamzah Sheeraz. Unfortunately, I agree with Patrick 1,000%. But unfortunately, Hamzah Sheeraz is gonna get the negative press, and he's gonna get a lot more than Turki. But on this side, we gonna tell the whole truth. And shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to my guy Kendrick. He said you're gonna join soon. Shout out to you. And shout out to my guy George, the Last Patriot. I can't believe I missed the super chat, man. It was a hello yellow too. Shout out to my guy George, the Last Patriot, dropping the graffiti on the chat walls with that hello yellow. $10 on the fellow. Shout out to my guy, man. I appreciate it, man. Yes, sir. George, the Last Patriot, with that bread, that cheese, that butter. Shame on me, man. Shame on me, George. I apologize missing your super chat. It was a big one too. And yeah, I apologize, bro. My bad. We just got to talking and I missed it. Sorry about that, bro. And I appreciate your kind contribution, man. Big Boxing Talk family member right there. He said I was referencing the Jimmy Cliff song. Hey, what you know about Jimmy Cliff, man? Big Rasta in the building. Shout out to you, man. What you know about Jimmy Cliff, man? Of course you know about Jimmy Cliff. That's Big George in the building. He said I was referencing the Jimmy Cliff song. John Crow to say that Teofimo Lopez time is coming and he'll be laid out for the dogs, and John Crow Jamaican vulture to eat. Facts. Shout out to my guy George, man. We're gonna run that again, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. Shout out to my guy George, the Last Patient, man. Always holding me down with the love, man. Thank you, bro. Shout out to you, bro. Let me go back in the Discord, man. Once again, shout out to Patrick for his first time joining. I appreciate him being patient and figuring out the Discord, man. Like I said, I love to have people join the Discord just to hear different perspectives, man. It's not about debating. We can debate if you would like, but it's not about debating or arguing. Definitely not about arguing. It's about having a conversation, man. And you know, sometimes, like I said, I know I talk a lot and I have the mic in front of me, but sometimes people come at come at me incorrectly, and that I'm still wrong. You know, I should still approach everybody as a new person and as somebody wanting to have a conversation. But sometimes people come at you on the keyboard and talking crazy, so I reciprocate that energy. But you know, so but yeah, I mean, I always want to have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about to me. We don't have to agree. We don't have to be in concurrence. But you know, let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like Shakur, cool, let's talk about it. I'm not a big Shakur fan either, but I am a fan of boxing, and I feel like I got to stand up for that because a lot of people don't, man. It's a lot about bias and subjectivity. You know, we're very objective over here. And, you know, those that appreciate it do, and I appreciate those that do.
You know, like I say, man, he had a hell of a fight until that moment. And I don't like to take away from him. I don't like to talk down on him. I just think that all those times where he was fighting at a much smaller weight than he probably should have been, it's taking its toll on him. And now he's stuck because he's fighting at catch weights.
Who we talking about now, Devin Haney? I just got
yeah.
Okay. Keep it going. My bad.
So you think he's stuck at catch weights now? Is that what you're saying? He ain't got no natural weight no more.
Well, this
a weight
is the
class
thing
that's
about
suitable for him.
This is the thing. I think for Devin in particular, like even though stuff went bad and went south, he still got options. Yes. Mainly because people think he fooled.
Yes.
So anytime you think you fooled, you got to capitalize. That's why I said the same thing with Tank. People think you really just hype, and Roach just showed you how hype you are. Take advantage of that ish.
Yep.
Because now people will tune in and see the fight because they think you really. Before they was hoping you was gonna lose. Now they believe you gonna lose. That's the thing.
Oh, you're gonna lose to Roach. You're gonna lose.
Relax.
Yeah, but it's gonna be round 6 to 8. But you know, I ain't even mad at you if you feel that way, dog.
Bro, I'm telling you,
I'm not mad either.
He cannot beat Roach, bro.
When he's sparking, though, I don't want him to be. Well, yeah, Roach was doing this.
You feel me? Talk to him, Thomas.
He's not sparking him, man.
All right.
I'm telling y'all, bro.
All right.
Hey, I'm a big fan of Roach, dog. Me and Ant, we broke that thing down, man. Roach do a lot of great things in the ring, bro.
He does.
He's tough.
He looked too confident against Tank, bro. The way he was so confident with him, I'm like, yo, he not beating this guy, man. He got to break his will. Tank got to break his will in like the third round.
Hey,
he has to make it seem like you can't beat me on no level.
I agree.
And if he don't do that, he losing.
I think you see that in this fight.
For real?
But even I disagree with it too. Like,
I don't think Tank could beat him in a fight that don't end in the knockout.
You don't think he can box?
I like that assessment, Clone. I disagree, like I said, but I like that assessment. Yo, Anubis says, who you got, Shakur or Zepeda? I have Shakur. But I think it's going to be a great fight, man. Zepeda's nice, too, man. I like Zepeda.
I got Zepeda for today.
Oscar said he has Zepeda. Shout out to Oscar.
Just for today.
Zepeda versus Shakur, Oscar?
I just can't see it going both ways. I can't see it like Kevin Farmer. Because, let's be honest, they do call Shakur pillow fisted. I think Shakur drops him a couple times, but I don't think this is a power. I think there's like me and Dog talk about it the other day. Zepeda ricochets, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like he brings his whole body up.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just eating a halfway jab. So, but if Shakur can produce the output, if he can't drop him, and if he can't produce the output like Kevin Farmer was hitting him clean.
Yep.
He was landing the best shots of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But throwing 1 against 5, hey man, it can go to anybody.
I agree. I have Shakur, but I agree.
But
so Doc, you believe it's going to be a close fight, though? I'm asking that question.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I think it can be because of what everything Oscar just said, but I don't think. I think Shakur is gonna put on a match. I think he's gonna put on a clinic. Yeah, and
I hope so, man.
But I do think this though. I will say this: that activity is what to me is his best bet. You know, that activity. I think that's obvious, right? But I think also the pressure and how what the referee's gonna let him get away with too. I'm not implying that either one of them are a dirty fighter. You know. But if the referee lets Shakur wrap him up, then it'll be, you know what I'm saying, when he in spots when he needs to, he's gonna be good. But if the referee doesn't, and the referee lets him get in his chest, and like Oscar said, if he can't get that place, because I don't think Zepeda got dropped due to power of Farmer, like Oscar said. I think it was more so timing and placement, you know. And I think Shakur could produce the same thing, and I think he could do it better in a better fashion. But ain't no guarantee, man. We got to see. But I got Shakur winning in dominating fashion, though. Yes.
Okay, so that's where we at now. Now I agree with everything Oscar said. I agree with everything you just said, because it can be problematic if he cannot handle it. The thing that you said that got Zepeda in the first fight with Tevin Farmer is the thing that I'm going to highlight right now. Timing and distance. Like, while I shudder to say anyone is the best, I know that he is one of the best at timing and distance. And then on top of that, he has elite level quickness. Like, his quickness was on display in the De Los Santos fight. You can see how quickly he can move from one point to another, how quickly he can create distance or close distance, engage distance. Zepeda don't set no shots up. He just throws shots. It's almost like Walking Dead with faster punches, faster movements.
Hey,
you got and no disrespect to Zepeda. No disrespect to Zepeda, because it's been kicking tail for him.
Yep.
But this ain't somebody that this ain't the normal character that's weak or injured or sick. And you know, the Walking Dead dude is walking fat, because you know, sometimes on the show on Walking Dead, sometimes they was damn near running.
Yes, sir. Hey, the first season, the first season, oh, they were sprinting. What?
You know what I'm saying? Like, they was on your
they were on you, bro. Then they started getting a little sluggish, and then I think towards like what was that, season 10 and 11, they started picking up speed again.
Yeah, that's how many seasons it has.
Man, they got 10 and 11 seasons. Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh yeah. That show crazy, bro. I had to stop watching.
What is it, Anatomy?
I'm telling you, I stopped watching once they made side shows. I can't keep it. That's too bad. I said, bro, I can't do that.
Yeah, I wasn't feeling the sideshow thing. It started off in a boat or something like that.
Yeah. Because Daryl has a show. I think he's like in France or something. And then Michonne and Rick, they have their own show. And then Maggie and Negan have their own show. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you don't even want me to brush my teeth, sleep, and wipe my ass. Like, bro, I gotta just watch Walking Dead for the rest of my life. Like, come on, man. Put them on the same show. Why I gotta watch second shows to see my favorite characters? That's crazy.
I never watched that show.
Oh, you never watched it?
I thought it was whack that they had a dude with a baseball bat able to control everything.
It was
yeah, you gotta watch it, bro. That's great. I will say this, Chloe and Thomas, you can let me know how you feel. I think that if you watch it, it starts getting like 7 and 8 are bad, in my opinion, and then it picks back up later on. But at least watch it till season 6, bro. That junk is fire, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
All the way to season 6, you will be at your edge,
at your seat. Edge, bro. I'm telling you. And now you could what's it called? A binge. You could binge watch it now. You ain't gotta wait for, like, you know what I'm saying. You ain't gotta wait for the next week. You know what I'm saying? Because it was once a week, something like that, like Thursdays and nights. I mean, my girl back used to watch it or whatever. Because she put me on it. I got into it on season 4, I believe. So I was been watching all the way until. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yep. And then so I've been watching all the way there and caught up, and then I was like, dang, I gotta wait a week.
Me too. I did it in a matter of a week and a half, bro. I caught up.
I'm telling you, bro.
That's how it was, clone.
Yes, bro.
I saw 4.
Good,
somebody told me to watch it. I watched it.
Yep.
1 week, I was like, yo, I got nothing to do. I'm gonna watch this and get caught up. Yep. And it was like that I was watching for like damn near 13 hours every day.
Yep. I was surprised because I'm not even a zombie guy. I'm not like I don't really care for zombie stuff, but that joke was fire, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I definitely suggest that. Watch that.
I swear to God, I rock with you so heavy, dog, because 7 was the reason why I'm watching it, dog. 8 confirmed why I shouldn't watch it no more.
Yeah,
but then, like you said, it got better.
Yeah.
My cousin was like, "You don't watch Walking Dead?" I was like, "Man, that stuff garbage." He said, "No, it's fire. You gotta watch." So I watched it, and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna have to do it all over again, bro." But speaking to the point, and I'm gonna get back to what I said because I know you got to grow up too. We was talking about
here yet, so you good. My food ain't here yet anyway.
Of stardom. That show spawned off other shows that never really reached the height or level of that show. But because of that show, people still effed with it. And that's how it is with us. Like Mayweather, I mean, Tank and Ryan, it happened and it was huge. It was a perfect like dichotomy of things coming together to make this perfect product that people got into. But separate and apart, it ain't been the same for neither one of them. But there's one person that's going out there doing his thing no matter what. Then there's the other person fabricating stuff saying, look, yo, I did 50 million with this dude. This dude got 30 million and they ain't even got paid.
Come on now.
You know what I'm saying? So like, even though you can be a star, there is somebody that's always going to be the star. It's like when they had the Hall of Fame, the 75. Remember the 75? And then Jordan came in.
Yes, sir. They knew what was going
Jordan
on.
was the star of stars.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what's going on.
Everybody's like, nah, that's the star of stars.
Come on now.
And it is the coldest part about that. While he is the biggest star, guess who he went to? He went straight at Magic.
Yep.
Because in his heart, like, this is the dude that I had to chase. This is the dude I respect. Because this Mickey Fricky was bad. You know, and there was so much greatness around him. Some people just, I'm very happy to be here.
Yeah.
Some people like, yo, I deserve to be here. And other people just admiring what it is, man. So
yeah,
that's what it is. Like, who should have been?
That's crazy. This man a hater, bro.
No. Who'd you say that? Who'd you say?
I didn't mean to cut you off. I said Dame Lillard shouldn't have been there, but go ahead. I'm listening.
He shouldn't have been there or should have been there?
Shouldn't have.
Man, I'm gonna tell you how
do nothing in the damn career.
And how Dwight Howard was not on them teams. Diabolical.
Crazy.
Shout out to Dwight, man.
James Harden, Dame Lillard. Come on, man. What type of list is that?
I can't disagree with you one bit, man. Because I as much as I love me some Dame Lillard, dog, T-Mac was a problem. Dwight Howard was an anomaly, man.
Major problem.
Wait.
Yeah.
T-Mac went on the 75 list?
Hell nah.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, so no disrespect to Damian Lillard, and I hate to say this because I don't want to say somebody doesn't deserve it, but Dwight Howard,
he ain't deserve it.
I'm not gonna say, like I said, I don't want to say he doesn't deserve it, but I would say that, and which is essentially the same thing. I would say T-Mac and Dwight deserve it more. I know it's essentially the same thing, but I don't want to say he doesn't deserve it. But I agree with you. Yeah,
come on, man. He don't deserve it, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. How could I say? How could Damian Lillard be over there and T-Mac and Dwight, especially Dwight being a champion? You know, I know Dwight Howard. He didn't have the longest reign as a top guy because of his injury, but in Magic, you take Dwight Howard off that team is trash.
Hey, dog, you watching the Grand Prix?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Yeah, Malodon and Barico. But if you take Damian Lillard, I'm not saying that Portland won't be bad either, but it's just like you can replace him more than you can replace Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard was that guy, man. Defensive championships, dunk contest winner, went to the finals. He won the finals with the Lakers. Yeah, I think it's crazy. That's crazy.
He's a big reason why the Lakers won that finals too. Now,
a huge reason, man. Matter of fact, him, JaVale McGee, and Rondo.
Yeah,
and they brought neither of them back.
Yep. What you were saying though, Oscar? My bad about the Grand Prix. Yeah, I'm watching it.
Yeah, it's get back to my fault.
That guy Barico is the DIY boxer.
Let me see. The DIY box, do it yourself, or you bet the other one?
No, he literally trained himself. Like, and then he went to a gym like afterwards. But like to get into the gym, like he trained himself, like watching videos and watching programs. Yeah,
Barico, that's what's up, man.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man. Nah, that's dope. Appreciate you putting me on game. Where's he from? Do you know?
La France, Le Bleu, Sac Bleu.
Sac Le Bleu. Sac Le Bleu. That's what's up, man. Appreciate it. I didn't know that. A lot of times when you see the DIY boxers, they be trash.
Yeah, you see them with their ass.
Hey, have you guys heard of Ashoba? Oh man, this is girl. She's like the Tommy Hearns of boxing, bro, for women.
Oh, I gotta check her out. What's her name?
I think Catherine Ashoba. Like she's like I want to say she's Nigerian, but she's from France or something like that, or some. She's from overseas somewhere.
Wait, was she Olympian?
Sorry about that. No, man, I'm outside. I'm not absolutely sure.
Okay.
I'm not absolutely sure she was a Olympian.
Okay.
I gotta get up on that. She might have been.
I might know. I might just not recognize the name. I might.
She's like 5'11" or 6 feet, bro. When I tell you she used that jab like nobody's business, and she got a mean right. She night people. Ashoba. I'm gonna send you. I'm gonna put it up in the score when I get done, man. So
when you said
y'all
she's Nigerian, it reminded me of this one girl who's Nigerian, a former Olympian too. But she was on that. She was on that one card with what's the name? But then her fight got canceled because she got sick or something. I don't know if that's her though. Like, I don't remember her name.
Sure,
She
because
was
I
on the
know she
card
was.
with Carolyn
I
Dubois.
don't
She's
know if
supposed to
she
be
carried-
not fighting Carolyn Dubois, but she was gonna be on the card with her, and then she got sick.
Oh yeah, you know what? I think that might have been her.
I
But
think
I'm
so
definitely
too.
going because this one is tall. Like she is tall.
Al Booger in the building. What's good, brethren?
I'll booger.
Yes, sir. That's my guy. I'm waiting for my boy to join the Discord, man. What's up with that, bro? We need Al Booger on here, man.
Yeah, I'll booger.
Shout out to everybody that pull up, though. Shout out to those that don't as well. He said what they did to Dwight is a travesty. Yeah, I agree. We got Kendrick in the building. I think I pulled him up too. Let me see. Kendrick, what up, bro?
Kendrick
Talk
in
to
there.
me, bro. What's good, bro?
Kendrick, tell me why Dwight Howard's overrated.
Overrated? Boy, you tripping.
Well, with that, the top 75 thing, I can't put T-Mac over Dame Lillard just because of longevity. Yeah, of course, but you got to take into account everything. But
What did Dame Lillard have? Longevity of
Dame
losing?
Lillard has like fucking
He said
12
longevity
All-Star
of
games,
what?
bro. He has
He lost all the time, man.
Yeah. So the T-Mac Billy didn't even make
So they both shouldn't be on the list then. Both of them should not be on the list.
At least Dame Lillard all-stars, like as far as more than T-Mac. He got
Kyle Lowry was
all-NBA
all-star.
team.
Man, I'm not giving them like all-star games no more, man.
This is what I'm saying. He has all NBA teams too. T-Mac doesn't have that much.
You're right. He got that.
I ain't gonna lie, Cole. You said to me, bro. You gotta fight back.
Talk to him, Oscar. Tell him fight back. Tell him fight back.
He got all NBA. He got the all NBA, and he got multiple playoff losses. So I feel like they're in the same category of being
He also
losers.
has some of the most iconic playoff wins, though. So you got to remember that too.
Does he?
But they just went to the second round.
Does he have more All Stars selections than T-Mac? I don't know. I'm asking.
Got it. He's been in the league.
Probably because nah, hell nah.
I don't know.
He wasn't getting hell nah.
That's what I'm saying. Because remember he missed him. Remember him and Mike Conley were in the same boat, missing All Stars and stuff because they're in that deep West, that guard heavy West.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying he does it. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm asking.
There's no way he
if you say Roy, then I'm on board with that.
Hey, shout out to Brandon
Because
Roy, man. That was my guy right there.
Yeah. If he said
Brandon
Roy,
who just had it cut short, but T-Mac put in work though, man.
Yeah.
Like work.
Work? I don't know about work.
I'm talking about work.
He put in the same amount of work as Dame Lillard.
Hey,
Dame Lillard has accomplished nothing.
Hey,
Damn.
He went to Milwaukee and
They said
then
that
got hurt.
Rihanna work, boy. That Rihanna work. That's funny as hell. There are no welterweights in the Grand Prix. I'm French, but live in the UK. Not many French popular. Just went earlier to the Grand Prix. Yeah. Hey, shout. I mean, you got. I know not in the Grand Prix, but you know what I'm saying. France had that big upset with Bruno Sarash, man. You know what I'm talking about? And I think Solomon Sissoko, he survived that getting knocked out the ring from Kavaliauskas, still won that fight, right? I think he's French, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Is the guy French? Is the guy that's talking French?
Yeah, Patrick's. Yeah, he said he's French, but he lives in the UK. Shout out to him. I need to go out there to the UK, man.
I ain't going here to talk about basketball, man. I'm here for boxing.
Talk to me, Kendrick. Talk to me, bro.
So, number one, first off, let's talk about my man Brian Norman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brian Norman, now he got to come out to a new song every time. You feel me? His next song that he comes out to is "Here Comes the Man in Black." Right? You know why? You know why?
Juneteenth?
He out here erasing memories. Nah, he erasing memories.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Nah, bro. Nah. You going to hell, bro. Nah, you going to hell, bro. Nah, you going to hell, bro.
Kendrick's too much of a savage, bro.
Yeah. We about to get Kendrick up out of here, bro.
Yeah, Kendrick's too much of a
That's
savage,
crazy,
bro.
Nah, bro. You going to hell, bro. I'm not going with you,
Kendrick too much of a savage, boy.
That's crazy.
Hey,
that's crazy.
That's how my guy Clay. He said he hit him with the. He said he hit him with the "I miss my Uncle Charles" like Crossroads knockout.
Nah. See, y'all wrong, bro. Hey, man, shout out to Just a Cycle, man. We wish him a swift recovery. You know what I'm saying? We hope that he recovers and gets back in the ring, and you know what I'm saying?
Kendrick
That's
is a
crazy,
savage,
bro.
man. Yo, Kendrick gonna get
about
damn.
We were talking about that, and
had the best situation possible. You know why? Because most fighters, like Devin Haney, have to remember getting the ass beat. You don't remember
You said what? Say that again, Kendrick. What you say?
He said at least he ain't getting it as bad as Devin Haney because Devin Haney remember the ass whooping. He don't remember it. That's crazy.
I got a question for Kendrick.
Hey, you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy though? My bad.
No, you're right. Hey,
you remember? And
you're right though.
Not to be too graphic, but remember that song? Remember that? I mean, not the song. That movie with that just came out with Channing Tatum.
No.
Ah, shoot, what's it called? But anyway, he was doing like the Diddy stuff. But okay. And remember in the movie he said like, see, that's the thing. You don't have to remember. So that's why you get blood. You know what I'm saying? So all the traumatic experience, you don't remember it. That's he hit him with the Channing Tatum, bro. Nah, bro. We gotta keep Kendrick about it. Yeah, we gotta get him about it. That's crazy, man. Shout out to Jin Sasaki, man. We wish him a swift recovery. So for those of you that didn't get the joke, Brian Norman, when he knocked out Jin Sasaki, he literally got hospitalized, brought to the stretcher, and he has a month and a half worth of memory loss. So that's what he talking about, bro. This man foul, bro. Nah, bro. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Oh, my boy Brian Coleman, when I was trying to defend him, you feel me, against the Boots allegations.
That's
but
true.
nah, I'm happy for him.
Kendrick, I got a question for you, man.
Yeah.
What was harder, the punch or the head hitting the canvas?
That head hitting the canvas. That's bad, bro.
The head canvas.
Like, oh,
I got his memory because that's the backside of the head. You feel me? That's the brain stem.
Yeah.
A lot of that, like damage is gonna,
Yeah, that's crazy. This man made a joke, bro.
So
he going to Kendrick going to hell.
Great.
Listen,
gasoline draws on.
Yeah, you have to tell the truth. You feel me?
No,
but
you wrong. For
ain't
that,
the damn truth.
You wrong for that. Shout out to D1 in the building. Nah, you wrong for that, bro. Bro, what's the name of the Men in Black thing, bro? What is the name of that memory erasure? I can't remember.
I think it's called Oh yeah, I don't know.
That's messed up. What is it called?
The neuralizer?
Yeah, the neuralizer. Whatever.
Yeah, the neuralizer.
Hit it with the neuro. That's bro. Y'all wrong, bro. Y'all wrong.
What you mean, y'all? I ain't part of that.
For once, clone. Yeah, neuralizer. That's crazy. Y'all wrong. Neuralizer, neutralize. Y'all wrong, bro.
I let Kendrick take that, bro.
And you know how when you flip a hamburger, that bad boy stick to the pan. When he hit that ground, that boy stuck.
Yeah, I'm getting off, bro. I'm getting off. Y'all wrong, bro. I'm getting
the smartphones and everything. You feel me? God damn.
My man came to the ring like a star, though. Stop.
I'm not laughing at them. I mean, I'm not laughing with them. I'm just, bro. I can't believe it, bro. That's crazy.
Hey,
yeah, that's crazy, though.
Dog, you know what the crazy part is? I seen your video, and you think Brian Norman was being respectful because of the knockout?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he was just saying his last words to him.
Okay, I'm getting off. All right, chat. I'm out. I'm out, bro. Y'all diabolical right now, bro. I can't. Nah, man. That's crazy, bro.
I ain't gonna lie though, that was cold when he did that though, bro. Like he saluted the crowd. That was respect. But then he got down on the knees and saluted him. But he did it like 3 or 4 times, dog. Like he been watching some. He been watching some movies, dog.
I gotta watch that. I ain't see that.
Bro, it was respect, man. Y'all gotta chill out, man. It was respectful.
So he saluted him after he damn near killed him.
Oh yeah, he was like,
bro, you didn't see?
Bro, go watch it.
I missed the fight.
I put it in the video, man, when I talked about it. I dropped it.
Yeah, I seen him salute him, but I ain't seen him salute him 3 times though.
Oh man.
I thought he was going to teabag him.
This man said teabag him, bro. Come on, hey, bro. Yeah, I'm kidding, bro. Hey, man. Nah, y'all wrong, man. Hey, let me pull up D1 real quick, man. D1, this is his first time joining. Let's pull him up, man. Let me get my boy to talk to us, man. You're in the waiting room. Yeah, you're right. That's where you're supposed to be. Pull up D1, man.
So
yo, what's good, bro?
We're all going to hell and you
Nah, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not going. Yeah, I'm not going. Y'all going to hell. I'm not going. That's crazy.
Hey, Kendrick, I still want my warnings, Kendrick. You can't duck no more, Kendrick.
That's crazy.
Shut your ass up.
Thank you.
What up, D1? You gotta hit the mute button, D1.
That's wild, bro. Y'all wrong as hell, bro.
Hit the mute button, player.
Oh, D1 muted. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thomas.
Cole said we're all going to hell, and I'm driving, so we don't get lost.
Yeah, facts. Because Columbus said some wicked stuff. I don't know what he talking about. Hey, D1, you in
No, I
here, bro.
don't, bro.
I don't know if you can hear us, but you are live. You in here with us. That's crazy, bro. Y'all wrong.
You live with the blue hoodie on, angry Mike, man, cussing one another out, dog. Come on, hit that mute button up.
Yeah,
You muted.
Angry White Man. It's too funny, dog.
That's a funny name, though.
Yep.
Yeah.
D1 hashtag AWM. Angry White Man. But yeah, man. Y'all. Hey, Kendrick, you're wrong. I want to hear some more from Kendrick, but I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie, I might get canceled.
Nah, Kendrick, go ahead, Kendrick, air it out, Kendrick.
Yeah, air it out, Kendrick.
This man said he got the. The man ain't even recovered yet, bro. Can the man recover first?
I
do support Brian Norman, though. I'm happy that he won on Juneteenth, though. I was been
Facts.
kind of mad if he'd have lost.
Hey, you know what's so funny about that? Because I was talking to my mom the other day, and I told her about that. I said, oh boy, in the street talking about he can't come back if he lose on Juneteenth. And she was laughing. And you know, and she said he's right. She said he better not come back. I just had me crying, bro. Said he better not come back if he lose. Best stay in Japan.
But that's the
I'd be
dichotomy
surprised
that
if he
they
come
are
back.
playing.
He's about to be the next Brittany Griner. They about to hold his ass for murder. That shit.
That's crazy.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah, that was
crazy, though.
That was a vicious knockout.
That fight before was crazy, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, was that
Blue versus Red.
Tanaka and Sora Tanaka.
That was a good fight too.
Yeah, and I can't remember who fought
I think she
Kabaji.
stopped it.
Yeah,
I missed a good card.
Who said they should have stopped it? Who said that?
Oh, me. I said I don't think they should have stopped it.
I agree with you.
Early. Me.
I agree with you. Oh, you said they should not have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought. See, I'm kind of indifferent. At first, my first response was to not stop it with Sora Tanaka, but then we saw the just Sasaki stuff in the aftermath, and then I think Oscar pointed it out. You know, they might be on thin ice, or just being very careful because remember Shigeoka, who just got hospitalized like a couple weeks ago. Now you got the just Sasaki thing, and then Anaguchi just died a year ago. So I understand it being extra card, but I agree with you. It's like I kind of feel like. I think we knew Tanaka was gonna win, but the guy was still fighting back. So it's hard, bro. It's a thin line to tread, bro. So, but I agree with you that they shouldn't have stopped it, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad they did because I felt like the Fierro and Isaac Pipa Cruz. I don't even think they should be fighting again. That fight was brutal, man. That first fight, I don't think they should fight again, bro. But it is boxing, so hey, that's what people want to see.
Bro, that first fight showed us a lot of first things.
Bro, they shouldn't fight again,
man. Triple jabbing. Pitbull hurt. Somebody taking blow for blow against Pitbull. Angel Fearful almost knocking out Pitbull.
Yeah.
That fight was good.
Well, that was a lot more give and take in that fight. This fight was a lot of give and take, but it seemed like one was doing the giving more so than the taking.
Yeah.
Cause his face, man. All I can think of is that Martin episode with Tommy Hearns. Like it just started swelling, bro, like badly.
That's crazy, bro.
And it was like he could not stop him. Like he was throwing and landing punches too, but it was like nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that just to get this off. And he was hitting him with like 90% damn near percentage of power punches. Like every uppercut, every hook was landing. Flush.
Yo, now I got a question then.
Yes, sir.
So you know how in a way said Americans don't have fighting spirit, right?
Come on now. Talk to me.
Do Japanese not have chins?
Come on now.
Because these niggas are getting out.
Oh, come on
man,
now.
they got chins out there.
Damn.
And I don't know, but no, he was disrespectful before. I don't think that's disrespectful because that's exactly what I said too. It's like, and what Kendrick said is right because that's what Inoue said, and people were like, "Oh, it's cool, you can say it." But it's like that's the same thing other people said about like when Keith Thurman said what he said about what's that about? I think he said about Mexican fighters that he wouldn't lose to a Mexican fighter because they're not mobile enough. And then I'm not defending Teofimo, but Teofimo said that he would never lose to a Puerto Rican fighter because he's weak. And then what's the name? Biop said I'll never lose to a white fighter, whatever. But it's like either you're gonna get mad at all of them or you don't get mad at none of them. But also too, if you're gonna say Americans don't have fighting spirit, then I mean, then you would think that no Japanese fighters ever get their fight stopped, or they never get knocked out, or you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, it's like I don't know, it's crazy. You just can't generalize.
People don't like trash talk, man.
My man Jen had fighting spirit, dog. How good that was for him,
definitely had fight
dog.
spirit,
That's all I got.
Right, and it didn't work out for him.
Oh, it didn't work out well at all.
He said, I only remember Charlo for sure, not sure about Cruz. Yeah, she got one too. Yeah. Oh yeah, Charlo did. Yep, when he beat Lamana, but also Franson Cruz when she fought. I can't remember the fighter she fought. It was a Mexican fighter. I can't remember her name. But yeah, she won the Juneteenth belt too. Pitbull Cruz versus Fierro was crazy vibes. It's like 30. Yeah, bro, that's not good, bro. That's not good. But y'all, man, I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. My food is here, man. I'm gonna go eat this food and watch this WBC.
Care about your goddamn food, man. Hey, you gotta stay on.
That's crazy, bro. I gotta go eat, bro. Gotta go eat, bro. I ain't nothing all day, bro.
Nah, me and Kendrick about to face off right now.
Man, get out of here, bro. Shut up.
I'm ready.
Yeah, you ain't about that life. but hey, Kendrick, appreciate you pulling up, man.
Yeah, appreciate y'all, man.
Pulling up. Hey, Chloe, man, appreciate you, bro. Always pulling up, man. And Oscar, appreciate you as well, man. Appreciate y'all pulling up and giving y'all opinions, man, and prolonging the conversation and keeping it going and keeping it fresh, man. Shout out to everybody pulling up. D1, man, we couldn't hear you, bro.
Y'all be blessed.
Appreciate you pulling up as well. Yeah, y'all be blessed as well, man. Thank you. Shout out to the members, man. Shout out to D1 pulling up, but we couldn't hear you, bro. You were on mute. Shout out to Patrick, man. Patrick made his debut on the panel, man. Love to hear it, man. Shout out to my guy Patrick, man. We love to hear more people. Hopefully we get to hear more perspectives, you know what I'm saying, and more opinions from everywhere, you know, not just where we from, where you're from, where they from. We want to hear your opinions, man, and give your takes because we can learn from each other. Hell, I learn too, but you know, I learn from you, you learn from me. We all just learn from each other and have these boxing conversations. But just make sure that you're not discriminating, you know what I'm talking about, what I mean, or being super biased, because I'm gonna call it out. I'm gonna call it out now, and I expect y'all to do the same. So I appreciate y'all rocking as always, man. Happy Friday. Yeah, I'll be back on. Happy Friday, Al Booger. I'll be back on for the late show. I should be back on for the late show. I think there's some fights too, man. I think there's a fight tonight as well. So yeah, man, check out the WBC Grand Prix. It's free on YouTube right now. Shout out to Clone for the $5 in the super chat. Shout out to George the Last Patriot for the $2. George for the $2. Oscar for the $2. And George for the big $10, man. Shout out to him, man. I apologize. I missed that message at first, man. Thank y'all for turning up the super chat. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Yes, sir. Hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. And definitely hit that like button as well. But most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we are nothing, man. So I thank y'all for rocking with us, and we'll be back on for the late show. Go ahead and check out those videos too, man. If you missed the live show, go check out the videos, you know what I'm saying, and like those as well, man. Keep us going and growing and being relevant in the YouTube algorithm, man. Y'all be easy, take care of yourselves. And yeah, man, the doctor's out. Peace. Appreciate y'all. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.